Well, hello on the Rockers. On this episode, we talk women in film and Star Trek, set phasers to stunning with my guest co-host Dan Deevy, founder of Gaaays in Space, and me, your favorite host with the sassy most. Raise a glass and let the drinks begin. Engage.
Thank you for being
Boulevard.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord have mercy, buttons and bows and pantyhose. On the Rocks podcast, a place where we're too glam to give a damn. I am so glad Pride season is coming. I'm so glad Star Trek summer conventions are ahead of us. What I'm not glad about, because of COVID, I can't fit into my Pride outfits or my Star Trek uniforms, all 7 of them. Thank you, Postmates. Body positivity, my ass. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks On Air, and on Facebook, On The Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceanera, bris. I don't care. I will show up and host. Info at OnTheRocksRadioShow.com. You can watch and or listen to our now almost 300 episodes for free at OnTheRocksRadioShow.com or Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, on the Outlet.tv app, Facebook Watch, streaming with Pride on SVTV, and on Channel 31 in Boston, of all places. You lucky Bostonians. The show is brought to you by FanDaddies.com. Bringing you the sassiest and classiest in fans, whether it's an EDM party, a Pride party, or you just want to take a cool selfie, and they even make them for sci-fi nerds. Live long and prosper. Head to fandaddies.com. Word of warning, tonight's shenanigans are being fueled by the vodka tastings of NEFT vodka, which we've already partaken. Pure taste. It's just damn good vodka. Not from Russia, by the way. Ask for NEFT next time you're out at the bars, or take it home to your personal cabinet. They have these cute little barrels. It's so tasty. And I have to tell you, I drink a lot, as some of you might know, in this room. Never had a hangover on NEFT vodka, and that is the truth. See you at yoga at 6 in the morning. I don't do yoga. All right, let's get the show on the road. Let me introduce our guest co-host for today, making his On the Rocks return. Also, visiting from the East Coast, Dan Deevy, veteran producer, host, entertainment journalist, and celebrity interviewer. He's also a proud gay man, no shit, and a lifelong Star Trek fan. He abandoned previous plans for law school. I'm sure his parents were thrilled to pursue a career in entertainment journalism. And after nearly 2 decades of successfully carving out his own unique space within the entertainment world, he decided it was time for a change, and in 2015 he launched a massive grassroots social media campaign called #WeWantWorf to convince CBS that Star Trek should return to the small screen after years of nothing, with a series set in the Klingon Empire called Star Trek TNG. That was my Klingon. Sorry. Starring Michael Dorn. The campaign's message was successfully received by CBS when Dan delivered nearly 70,000 mini muffins, Sunday morning for me, sent in by fans all around the world to their offices with a note saying, "We want Worf." Those muffins were later donated to a local food bank, so calm down, everybody. So he has now spent the last 6 years building the whimsically titled Gaaays in Space, and that's 3 A's in each, into a full-fledged nonprofit organization specializing in activism and advocacy for the continued inclusion of LGBTQ plus characters in entertainment, particularly the often prophetic realm of science fiction. Since its founding in 2016, GIS has hosted 150 plus events, which have spanned a dozen major U.S. cities, featured more than 60 celebrity guests, and have been attended by thousands and thousands of fans. Please welcome Dan Deevy. You can talk.
Have I really done all of that?
You have, and you still look pretty damn good.
That is fantastic. I've never done the math on that. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited for this, and I just immediately off the bat have two questions for you, Alexander.
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Okay.
Have you ever considered making the show gayer and on more outlets? Because let's be honest.
I hustle. It'll be like the Christian Network. I'll be like, hello, I have a show for you. And as we know, it is LGBTQ and beyond. You know, you never know who's going to show up each week, so I bring the gay in case our guests don't. But I have a question for you. We certainly know since you started GIS, even before the J.J. Abrams reboot, and we saw a little glimpse of LGBTQ+, Star Trek has really changed in terms of representation. But I'm just going to spill the tea right away. Is there such a thing as Star Trek being too woke? Is there such a thing as too woke? Because first we had our first gay couple in space, and we're like, oh, isn't that cute? Then we had, then we had a non-binary, like, oh, isn't that cute? Then we had our first trans character. It's like, oh, isn't that cute? It's like, okay. And so some of the fans are resistant. And so Devil's Advocate, obviously I'm a proud member of our community, but are we just throwing everything just to click off boxes? And is it a little too soon to just throw everything out that it kind of loses the message of the subtlety of Star Trek? We know the original Star Trek had the characters as matter of fact. It wasn't like bump, 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 you know? Mm-hmm. So my question to you, being an expert, are we getting a little too woke?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. And my answer is, given the fact that it took half a century for gay people to appear on Star Trek, to prove to the world, and I have heard this from certain types of Star Trek fans, that the reason you've never seen a gay person on Star Trek is because it's been cured by the 24th century. You know, like cancer. So
that's why I asked you this question, by the way. I knew you were going to drop that factoid. I wanted you to drop it.
Had to, because it's honestly the reason that Gaaays in Space has continued. You know, when I started it, it was supposed to be a one-off event in Vegas because I felt like it wasn't being properly commemorated or celebrated, the fact that suddenly Sulu was gay in Star Trek Beyond, and it finally showed us someone that we could see ourselves in, and it finally put to bed that theory about why there were no gay people in Star Trek, which, by the way, I think the chef on Enterprise, a totes queer. Just saying.
You think?
Yeah, I kind of think. But also, it's, if anyone says the sentence "Star Trek is too woke," you've never seen Star Trek. I've heard people claim that, you know, the original series, you know, why do they have to put it in now, this whole woke business? Again, have you seen the show? The show was so political, had so much to say simply through the characters that were cast.
But Devil's Advocate again, and of course we're looking back at a show from the 60s. So at that time, yes, I mean, jaws were just dropping to the floor. Looking back, we're like, oh, but it was done very subtly. You know, it wasn't like, now we're going to talk about politics, or now we're going to, you know, have this family dynamic and conversation about identity. It was just kind of done. But now it's like, I feel there's a lot of pomp and circumstance, which I wonder is kind of deafening the message that we're trying to get across. That's me being Devil's Advocate, by the way.
That also is very interesting, because before Gaaays in Space was a thing, there weren't no pop. I didn't see any circumstance that, like, there was nothing. Gaaays in Space was the first organization to truly embrace the fact that suddenly there were gay characters. So I feel like we actually skipped the step of making a big deal of it, because the first time we see it, if you blinked, you missed it. It was just a hand on a back and an arm around another man that signaled to us, we made it, we exist.
They could have been European for all we know.
You know what?
European or gay is one of my favorite games to play.
Can we play that later?
Oh, let's.
But I love this kind of conversation that we're having. I think Gene Roddenberry would be so excited that we're actually having this conversation, because, as we know, he tried to put stuff. He kept pushing the envelope. So, you know, I'm very glad.
And you know that Roddenberry tried to get gay characters into TNG. And we have someone here who can totally verify that for us. There was an episode where they went to the planet that everybody was like super horny and barely wearing any clothing.
That was every planet, as I recall.
Literally, the customer, they're like, bring it higher. It's like the whole world's a gynecologist now. But it was like, Jesus Christ. I would have hated to have been an extra in Star Trek where body positivity wasn't as popular now, because, girl, big heat problems.
No, you wouldn't have passed the mustard.
But even like having men in like skirt type of uniforms without any commentary, it was just like, this is your choice. I mean, that was non-binary before we've had the language that we do now, talking about non-binary.
That's very true. And on Deep Space Nine, the character of he doesn't. Like,
I'm the only Trekkie in the world. If you want NyQuil and you run out and you need to go to bed, just pop in a DS9.
This is the one
Do not
time
operate heavy
that
machinery.
Alexander has no business talking about Star Trek because you're wrong.
But this is the
You're
Star Trek
wrong.
universe.
Talking
and-
about my friends, dude.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
come
I
here
know.
and beat your ass.
Thank you, Michael Dorn. But this is the kind of conversation that I love, and this is what I love. I went to my very first convention with you guys this last year, and as many years as I've worn the uniforms, have been such a fan, being part of the convention was not anything like I expected. It's stereotypically been like, well, that's where the nerds go. It was so positive. A lot of sexy people, by the way. But it was kind of this kind of exciting conversation that was being had, which I think is why the franchise keeps going and going. And now we have all these exciting, iterations.
Yeah. And again, going back to your favorite show, the character of Jadzia Dax on DS9 was the very first representation or close to. There was the sci-fi twist of trans characters. See, this is another thing.
No.
Tasha Yar was not trans. She was not gay.
She was just Tasha Yar. Okay,
Fluid.
we'll talk about that because
Yeah.
I'm kind of chomping at the bit at this conversation.
Okay, so
a
let's
little
say
bit.
that because I actually do have a big question from it from one of your fans, actually.
Oh, good.
So let's link that. But there have been, just like with fantasy and sci-fi, even from the '60s and other, even He-Man, there's always been this queerness to it. But now, because we as queer people are now demanding our voice being heard, now it's like, okay, well, now we got to put the characters and we got to put the actors in because our voice is now too strong to just kind of boop.
I'm curious. What about He-Man was gay?
Zorko, hello. He was like a walking popper. He really was.
You mean Orko, but that's
Sir-
okay.
Oh.
Signal the disco music right
yeah.
now, okay?
Who's
Oh,
Zorko,
baby,
then?
take me back. Take me back.
Orko is the
Who's
the,
Zorko then?
Zorko?
That's his
He's-
gayer
He's
brother.
somebody who lives in your brain only. It's fun up there.
VCR cleaner. Okay. So just real fast, and I want to get our guest of the hour, obviously. What I love is that Gaaays in Space attracts all of the celebrities. We see all the cool kids show up to your events, and I want to know what kind of conversation when you pick up the phone, you're like, hey, Robert Picardo, hey, Denise, Gaaays in Space. I mean, you don't even have to say what you are. It's like, okay, we got it. What is that kind of conversation? There's always that hesitation with me because I was raised in a different generation when obviously people know or whatever because my voice and, this is something I enjoy expressing myself. But there's still always that moment like gay when you identify and it's like, okay, you're in that kind of box now. And so I want to know when you do that with some of these celebrities, what's the kind of conversation that you've had that they know what your organization is like? Yeah, I'd love to come, take part. That must be a special feeling for you.
Oh my God, very much so. And I don't think we're different generations. I'm not that much older than you are. Had to say that. But it actually, it stems from the fact that for 20 years, I did celebrity interviews. And as Denise can attest, I used every excuse possible.
And used me.
Yes, I did. I did. The very first Star Trek actor to say yes to my interview request from, at the time.
I think we have a picture, by the way, and you're so young.
Oh,
Tony,
let's-
if you could, no, that's Kate
That's-
Mulgrew, girl.
that's Kate
That's
Mulgrew.
a different
Me-
color.
my
Oh my God.
God.
That was a hate crime. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm leaving. God damn it. I'm
He'll find
leaving.
it. He'll find it.
Yeah, so there's a photo in there of us. It was 1997. I was working for WNYU Radio,
Oh, God.
NYU's radio
I was in
station.
kindergarten. Yeah. Go
And
on.
no, you weren't. And I sent the message to Francis, who your manager.
agent or manager, both. He worked both at
Yeah.
different times. Yeah.
And so it went to him.
Francis O'Coo.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And it got to Denise.
There we go.
Oh my God, I'm so.
And we have another
young.
picture. I think you're even younger.
There-
And we're
Yeah.
drinking. We're
There's-
drinking, of course. God knows. We're
oh my
drinking
God.
vodka and cranberry, if I'm not mistaken.
That's my drink,
Yes.
by the way. That's
Yeah.
my go-to drink.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks about right.
Denise, do you remember that the chair that you were sitting on was not put together properly?
And I
And
fell?
you almost fell. And I thought, if I kill Tasha Yar for like the freaking fourth
Can you
time,
imagine?
Right.
She's like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah. No, but we can't, it doesn't happen with us. So that's why I'm okay with the space prize and we'll get to that later. But yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm 9 lives.
yeah,
I've been through a few. I've got a few left, I think.
she's
Yeah,
a space
I'm okay.
cat, everyone. She's a space cat. Yeah.
And you've had straight actors, straight identifying actors from every franchise, and it just seems like there's no hesitation to align themselves with this kind of organization.
Are you sure?
Well, that's.
Are you sure they're straight?
Oh, well. Ethan Peck left his wallet at my house last night, and we were not pecking.
I don't know anymore. I don't care anymore.
Now, you don't have to call
It
anybody
doesn't matter
out.
anymore.
You don't have to call anybody
No,
out,
of
but have
course
you
not.
had any resistance?
Once or twice, but
Was
I
it from
don't.
DS9?
I don't. Oh, I'm gonna.
I'm gonna. Why I oughta.
But honestly, it wasn't because of the gay thing. It was because we have no money to pay them to show up to do these things. And there have
Yeah.
been a couple of actors who,
Yeah.
rightly so, are like, okay, you want to, use my time and my talent to keep,
Which I
this
totally
going.
understand. There's many sides to that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but it originally started with Nana Visitor. When I planned that first party in Vegas,
She's so adorable.
I asked her, again, because I had interviewed everybody over 20 years, so they knew me. And when I asked Nana to come, she said, Dan, I will definitely come, but I can probably only stay for about 20 minutes. She stayed for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And the
You have this
next-
effect on people,
How
though.
surprising is that?
Right?
Nana is my girl. We have too much fun.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, the fan fiction's gonna start now.
Oh well, good.
Shipping,
I
right?
love to just
Boom!
stir it up.
Well, hey, they're passing
Get
out
on
shows
in
left
there.
and right, so
Yeah.
here's gonna be the new. That's gonna be the new announcement. Section 31 and Section 69. And I have to tell you something about Nana. She was my last person I pretended to have a crush on while I was straight. I would have her picture because she was so adorable and she was like the attitude, and she was the last one. And afterwards, like, okay, I guess we need to be honest about this, but she was my last straight crush.
Well, you're never going to guess who my first straight crush, not kidding, was. She's sitting over there, and she knows it.
I mean, talk about
It
sexy
was-
AF.
Oh, my God. And, yeah. It was, I think I told you during our first interview because I was like 18 years old and not realizing perhaps inappropriate. But that was the absolute truth.
Well, I have to tell you, as a queer kid, not knowing it at the time, the episode with Data and the sexual part, it was so sexual on so many levels without being, this is about like the sex that it's about between male and female, because it wasn't that. It was just this sexy, sweaty vibe. And it was like, okay, well, everybody can come to play. I mean, even if an android can come to play, that means sex is for everybody.
I was going to say, I had sex with an android. Okay, I'm beyond classification at this point.
Yes.
There's no, LGBTQ.
What would the robot be?
A.
Yeah. I
One
think
No,
so.
it would be LGBTQ USB.
Oh, yeah.
Or dongle. I think dongle.
What the hell's a dongle?
A dongle
Is
is
that
a tech thing,
that
I only know about because my
have to
fiance
plug it in.
is a tech guy, and you absolutely
Way
do.
to keep the show going,
you
Dan.
gotta stick it in both ends.
Stick it in both
Oh,
ends and
okay,
plug it
yeah.
in.
Now I'm back.
See?
That would work.
Hello.
That would work.
We need to have like a Star Trek Tupperware party where everything is like
I know, dongled.
dongle.
Dongled.
Do you have a top for that dongle?
Yeah. You have to, yeah. And then, I always said, every girl should have one.
Yeah. Do you remember
3 speeds.
the settings? Do you Frakes
Girl, I can't even
tells
handle
that
one.
story?
I'm like, okay, we're done.
Frakes there
no.
are 3 settings. On
Yeah.
Data's penis. It was Data's penis, by the way. Everyone.
Well, if
have
I
no
don't know
clue the
what
show
it
was gonna
was
be
on
this
Data.
classy.
You know, it may not be exactly what we're used to. I mean, the droid by then maybe doesn't.
How
have
easy would that be, by the way? You don't have to deal with like jealousy. You don't have to deal with like morning breath. You don't have to deal with like weird small talk.
emotions.
Thank you.
Hello.
the
yeah, you just, like-
possibility of becoming pregnant, not an issue.
Well, how
Let's
scary
not
is
talk
it now?
about that
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
How scary is that?
oh, right,
We
right,
can't-
right,
so
right, right.
weird. My
It
friend
would have been fine though.
My friend went to
and the choice
Well,
would
you
have
the
been
choice.
Tasha's.
You have the choice.
Yes, exactly.
By the way, Tasha did have a child.
Yes.
Yeah. So
She
that
did.
was
Yeah.
not by Data.
And
Yeah.
let's be honest, if any woman on that ship could have taken it from Data, it's Tasha. Because you were so badass, and
Yeah.
you'd figure
yeah, literally, who else on the ship?
I put him.
nobody.
I put him
Wesley?
on high.
Wesley. Yeah, you did.
Anyway, okay. So that was our little treats for the Trekkies out there. Shocker of shockers, we're actually going to spend the first part of this interview talking about Denise's career prior to Trek
My
because
straight career.
there's a lot happening. So without further ado, let's officially welcome our guest of the hour, Denise Crosby, a true Hollywood girl from birth. A Hollywood native with an early start on Days of Our Lives. Her career reads like a CVS receipt in notable films, including Eddie Murphy's 48 Hours, Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, with TV appearances most recently on Creepshow, with recurring roles in Suits, The Walking Dead, and Ray Donovan, with appearances in The Magicians, NCIS, Southland, Family Guy, Mad Men, Dexter, The X-Files, NYPD Blue, Baywatch, Diagnosed Murder, Lewis and Clark, and the list goes on and on. Oh, she's playing the flute. Oh, there we go. Also, who can forget her favorite fan roles in Stephen King's Pet Sematary and, of course, Star Trek: The Next Generation? She's appeared in music videos for Chris Isaak and Black Sabbath. She's celebrating the 25th anniversary, the Blu-ray release of the documentary Trekkies, which she both produced and hosted. Please welcome Denise Crosby.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. You have
Oh, we do
pictures
research.
of me
Playing the
in
flute.
Wait. Okay.
And
the
roller skate.
The flute. That's a high school. I have a high school perm.
Girl, when we do research, we do
Okay, that is
research.
so badass.
I also have your Playboy spread, but I thought we would save that
Oh
for later.
Lord, no, not the Playboy spread.
Oh, girl, I was like, there's Tasha's yard. I see that.
No. That didn't happen.
It was very
That didn't
sexy,
happen.
by the way, though.
Well, it was, the thing with Playboy. It's so interesting. Let's open with Playboy. Why not? We're going blue. We're going blue, girl.
Well, and as I understand it, it was really kind of an expression of you kind of rebelling against everything that you had come in. It's like, this is my moment.
Oh, this is so good. This segues totally into that perm. Okay, so
That's not all that was permed,
okay,
by the
no,
way.
don't even
my.
think. Oh my
Oh,
Lord.
my.
Okay, so the perm, I was this young
Hot.
little girl
Hot.
running around Hollywood, and this photographer. I met this Polish photographer who said, "I would love. I shoot for Playboy. I do pictorials for Playboy. Would you be interested in?" We could do this angle, this kind of rebellious angle on your Crosby name, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And I think they were offering me $30,000 to do a pictorial, and I was
This was
literally
1979.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a baby, and that was the most money I'd ever seen, and it was like, oh yeah, let's do it. So he brought me up to this animal like sanctuary billionaire's place up at the top of Topanga, where there were amphitheaters and like it looked like sacrificial altars for the. I mean, this was a trip, and he had me in a little Bo Peep outfit. Like my tits were out, but I had a bodice and a skirt and a fluffy sleeves, but my tits were out, and fluffy hair and a staff. And I was, these were the photos. I was posing like, some sexy 80s chick with all that hair. And I was losing my mind because I was listening to Bowie and like punk rock and going, no, this is not how I identify. So I did like 2 days of shots with this guy, and unbeknownst to anyone, I drove to Rodeo Drive, I parked my car, and I walked into Vidal Sassoon's hair salon without an appointment, and I said, cut all my hair off. And the receptionist said, do you have an appointment? I said, no, I don't care who, just give me whoever you got. And I'm like 20 or 19 or something at that point, and they give me a person, and they said, are you sure? And I said, buzz it. And they chopped all my hair off. And I showed up at the photo shoot the next day.
Like a boss.
And the Polish photographer, Vladimir Stonomotsky or whatever his name, and he said, oh my God, what have you done? What have you done? Oh, this is not going to work. We're not going to be able to do this. And I said, I don't give a shit, man. I'm not going to be posing as Bo Peep, okay? This is who I am. And the next day, he made an appointment to the photo editor, Marilyn Grabowski, at the top of the Playboy,
look up that name.
the Playboy Tower on Sunset, and walked in. And Marilyn looked at me and said, "What have you done? Hef is never going to approve this." By chance, one of their best photographers, Philip Dixon, happened to be in the room. He had just come back from Europe, where his girlfriend was on the runways in Paris, and he was shooting for Paris Vogue, but had started with doing all the Playboy shoots. And he said, wait a minute. I like her look. Let me do some test shots, and if Hef likes him, we'll do a shoot. If not, you're done. You don't get paid. You don't get the thing. I said, fine. I showed up at Philip Dixon's studio in the Playboy building on Sunset. We did test shots, and that's what's in the magazine, his test shots. We never got to do what Philip intended, which was to go to Mexico and be on like natural rocks like a cat. Like I was going to be like feline and raw and earthy and do these kind of, weird, because I was so scared. I looked like a boy. I was skinny and flat and young and, earthy, and we were going to do those kind of shots in Playboy. And, so we see the test.
And if you do look at those pictures, it is such a difference as to what, like you said, was going on at the time. And so you were really ahead of that. It's this kind of spitfire that you've had in all your roles and that you've had in your career, kind of ahead of its time, such as like doing Britney before Britney did Britney. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's totally that. It's totally that.
Like, this is me. And so I do want to talk about, I got this question so many ways from your fans. It's like, is she part of the Crosby family? I'm like, well, Google, bitch. Number one. But number two, and I don't want to I don't want to get into any of the family drama, but when he passed away, you were 19 and you had never met him. But there was an article, you did an interview at a local newspaper while you were studying in college. Mm-hmm. And I think your acting teacher
said...
Up in
Santa Cruz.
And your acting teacher said, oh, well, when you bank on your family's name, this is what happens.
Right.
And so you dropped out of college.
That's right.
I have so many feelings about that because part of me would be like, well, tell her to F off and then, stick in that class, but you didn't, and like, look what happened.
God, you did so. I'm so appreciative of
Oh, girl, I'm
that.
a fan.
But you're also, you're incredibly astute in your
because
research.
These are the beginnings that we see trickle. I mean, this is Tasha. This is that spitfire.
This is critical. I was in the writing program. She wasn't my drama teacher. I was juggling whether I was going to be a writer, a journalist. Journalism was really my love, but I had to take a speech class while I was in journalism school because I wanted to be Diane Sawyer and do investigative journalism. So they told me, why don't you audition for the school play? Because you'll bang out some credits and it'll jump. You won't have to do this. You'll do this instead. I went, great. Audition for the damn play and got it. It's the worst.
What was the play?
Oh
do you
my
remember?
God. Oh my God. Okay, it's considered the first American play ever written. It was written in 1776 by the first American playwright named Royal Tyler. It's called The Contrast. Holy moly! Okay, I had to sing a cappella a powder wig, the whole corset, the thing, the death song of the Altamuk Indians.
Oh my Lord!
A cappella. Yeah, it was.
I'm cringing already.
I know why I even thought to go forward in this goddamn profession. Anyway, so I did that.
Imagine if you're like, I work at PetSmart now.
Yeah.
I want to see the manager. It's Denise Crosby, and she's like,
it's like the sun sinks at night and the stars shun the day, and glory
pretty good,
remains when the night fades away. I mean, it's like
I'd cast
that.
you.
I know. The death song of the Altamuk Indians. Okay, whatever. So that was how I got.
We're getting the tea tonight, by the way.
Oh yeah, we are so getting the really just genetic macro stuff tonight. It's fun. I'm so enjoying this. So yeah, that was that. But wait, why did I start this product?
Because the
the
teacher
19-year-old.
said,
So
yeah,
okay, so I had to take this writing.
interview.
It was a writing class. So I remember I wrote about watching the Glass Menagerie. I remember this clearly. It was the Katharine Hepburn variation.
Love Catherine.
Right?
Yeah.
And I wrote my piece. She, the teacher, wrote back to me, this is horrible. You cannot touch your inner self. This is generic, whatever. It was a brutal response to my writing. And then the article came out in the local newspaper of me being in this play and connecting the dots that I was a Crosby, which of course any local journalist is going to make a thing of. And my writing teacher, brought it up in the classroom and said, "You see what I mean?"
Oh my God.
Wow.
And
Have you since gotten back in touch and said, "Bitch, I'm a star"?
No, but thank you. But no, I am right. It took me all this time to get back to writing, and I'm, writing right now in a class. I do a Zoom class every week in writing, which is one of the most beautiful, creative experiences I'm going on.
It made you, though, kind of drop out of college and be like, I'm done with that. And so we have Denise Crosby, who we have today. But on the flip side, it's so damaging to see what one stupid person's action, thoughts, words can do to an impressionable youth.
Absolutely.
And so when we have laws that are trying to silence our youth and having these kind of conversations, it comes from this kind of motivation. It's like, let's squash whatever,
Oh, I am so sensitive and so active with our youth in that regard, because I have personally.
And you lived it.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine being under a family legacy like the Crosbys. And if you do research, great voice, but not a family person.
Right.
And we had Phil Crosby on the show a few years ago. And so there really isn't that connection. There's nothing to bank on. As I mentioned, you had never met him. Plus what you were doing was so different. So I can't imagine. And so one of the questions I have is, then why did you keep the Crosby name?
It just, you grow up as a child as your last name. It never occurred to me not to.
And you were named after your dad, too.
Yes, Dennis, Michelle, Michael.
And he was an actor?
He dabbled, the four boys that Bing had with Dixie, my grandmother, they were kind of thrust onto the stage as entertainers, performers. They kind of did a little, number. Gary, the oldest of the four boys, was the only one that went on to, actually have an acting career. Yeah. And he was the only one that I knew and met and had something of a connection with. and that was really surreal. I met him on the basketball court of my junior high school.
Wow, that's...
Wow.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're gonna buy my book.
Well,
You're gonna buy my book. It's gonna be good.
100%.
I thought you had met Bing once.
No, I had met Larry Crosby. So Bing had a couple brothers, Harry, who had Harry Crosby and the Bobcats.
Yep. It's also a name of a porn,
I
but
know.
we're not going to go there. Meow.
It's who I'm going to be playing next Halloween at your wedding.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm going to come.
We can't talk about the wedding, can we?
Oh God, sorry. Oh shit. Oh
Well,
God.
well,
oh,
no.
Don't say that. Don't say
We
the S word.
we
No,
can
no,
say the
no.
wedding is
I-
happening because everyone knows that
But
Rich
no
and
other
I got
details.
Well, they
engaged.
do now. After my faux pas.
I thought I was going to be the one.
Okay, so forget the Bobcats. Okay, Harry Crosby and the Bobcats. Bing, Larry, and then
Hang on.
Mo, maybe Mo, the Pep Boys.
I was literally
They
going
were
to say
the
that, but I
original-
thought, don't say Mo because that'll be disrespectful.
They
but that's where I
were
was
the
going.
original Pep Boys.
So
Nobody knows that, by the way.
Harry and
The-
Larry.
Harry,
were-
Larry, and Mo were the original Pep Boys, and Bing. Bing was like Bing carried. Bing paid for all.
I mean, let's be honest. Bing
of
is
the
like
car,
a drag name, by the way.
car parts.
And then he shows up. He's like, blah, 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 blah. It's
Yeah.
like, your name is Bing, and you're gonna be like, blah, 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 blah.
Or as my husband calls him, Bing Bang and Boom.
Which obviously he
It's
did
another.
many times.
That's another. Well,
and Zoom.
know.
or-
oh my.
But I love that you use, and this is what we have. A lot of our viewers are from the entertainment world, and so if this is a testament of to take, if you get an objection or you get some obstacles or you just don't feel right, make your own path,
Darling.
and don't let anybody take your power away from you.
You are going to get obstacles. I mean that is a given. Okay, there are obstacles and blocks along the way. What we do with them is what determines, who we become. That's, if we were, can you imagine if you're given like some, rolled out gilded carpet and you're just, look at these royal people like that are just flailing. I mean,
But here's also, this is also new Hollywood, and we've interviewed many of the new stars on CW or they're the young kids that have been cast for their social media and whatnot. They haven't done the homework. They haven't had the blood, sweat, and tears.
Right.
They also bank on one role, and they're like, "This is going to be my role," and then in 2 years, it's like, "Oh."
that's a huge crash and burn.
And there's no manager, there's no agent taking them and saying, "Hey, you have to work for this, and you have to keep the hustle going." And if that's your passion, I feel like not enough actors. I feel like your passion is what kept you going. You're like, well, F this, I'm going to make it work no matter what. I think some of the younger generation, and not all, but there's not this kind of passion to hustle.
But it's more than the hustle. It's that's part of it, but it's also the sort of brotherhood and that you experience in these classes, that I was in before social media, where we were just purely going for the artistry, the discovery, the pushing of ourselves, the discovery of ourselves. Who are we in all of this? Does anyone care? I mean, you've got to care. Who are you? I was just reading something about, oh my God, Ron Carter, the great bassist. He's 85. They're doing a huge retrospective of him in New York for his 85th birthday. And, the guy has played with everyone from Miles Davis to Lena Horne to, I mean, he's one of the great bass players that has ever lived in our generation. And he made playing bass the forefront of a jazz ensemble. Bass was always secondary. It wasn't, you'd have a sax or you'd have the horn or the piano.
There he is.
There we go. Okay. Thank you. So I just read this extraordinary piece on him, and he is always redefining, searching, trying to get better. What more can I learn? The guy has done, he's a bazillion albums.
Yeah.
So that's what motivates. That has got to be the drive line. All this other stuff comes and goes. Tech changes, people change, technique changes, but the through line of exploration and is the key.
And it's a constant evolution. And that even goes to our own community. It's like today you can identify as this, tomorrow you can identify as this.
Right.
And because devil's advocate that I always play is, why do we need all these letters to the alphabet? And somebody said to me, it's because we're not done. There is no done.
Yeah.
It's on and on.
And also, like, let's face it, back in the day, you had to actually have talent. Today, you can be famous for the fact that you're famous. And that does not mean that you have talent. You have not studied.
How dare you,
have
sir?
Not, you, sir, have not put in your time on the boards.
Oh, I have.
On
on the bars? The boards. Got it.
Yeah, at least it wasn't behind those
but
bars.
Denise, to your point also, I have a friend who has spent his last dime on acting classes in LA. It's like, this is the best teacher. This is the best teacher. And to your point, it's like acting class used to be where we could make our mistakes and look like a fool, but not give a shit.
Right.
Or take choices with a character that are not appropriate. We just want to see where it's going. Now he's feeling it's like, you have to show up to acting class now. Already performance because who knows who's
he's
gonna
in the
see
wrong
you
he's in the wrong acting classes. Okay,
Well,
just
maybe LA is
no,
also
no,
not
no,
the
no.
most
They
supportive.
exist. I know. I haven't been. I still go to class, but not
because
since
we
the
never stop
pandemic.
learning ever.
Right.
Well, and
Patty LaPone
also,
still
And
gets voice lessons.
And I need to be able to work. See, with acting, unlike music or art or whatever, I need a script. I need people. I need someone to work with. I need an audience. I can't just be in my house. Not yet, at least. That's coming.
Barbra
but,
Streisand?
you
Are you listening?
opening up a script, going, hi, welcome, come in, and then he shuffled off into the wilderness. Now I'm James. Okay, I'm going to be James. No, we haven't gotten there yet, but
there are only so many times that Ken and Augie will help you out with that.
They are so good.
Are we talking about
so
people
good.
or
my
tribbles or dogs? Or,
all of them.
In LA, you don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
my baby so-and-so, and it's like their goat that they have.
I know.
I don't know.
I know.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
go.
Okay. So we have to zoom through this. Trekkies, we're going to get to Star Trek, but not yet. First really big TV experience was on Days of Our Lives. And Days of Our Lives has given platform to, or soap opera world has given a platform to many big names. But I want to know, as a young person in Days of Our Lives, soap opera, at that point, being a soap opera star was like the thing.
And also such a great proving ground because you have to learn your lines so quick.
Yeah,
and
but
there
everybody
are so
says that.
many.
But anybody can learn lines really quick.
Oh,
I
that's
believe.
not true.
But it's a different
When
type
you-
of acting, though.
Yes, and to both. It's a unique experience unto itself. There's nothing like it.
Did you enjoy it? It was also your first kind of big TV with like the cameras and the lights and all this kind of stuff.
Was it? I can't remember the.
It was.
It was. Okay, I trust you. I can't. Yeah, it was. It was weird. I was learning. It's a 3-camera setup. They don't give you any direction. You just better
Rehearsal.
come in. No, you better come in there and hit your mark and do your thing and hope you don't get fired. That was my experience of Days of Our Lives. But it was great. I was grateful. I had great respect for all of them, and it's such a learning experience. You can go to acting classes all you want. You can go to acting college or whatever, get all these degrees at Yale Drama School, but there's nothing like walking onto a set, man.
And the lights and the cameras and the microphone and the makeup. It's like, okay, you're on.
You're now it's for real.
I mean, talk about trial by fire.
Yeah.
When you're on a soap, after you've done
That
a soap,
part is exactly right.
getting
You can-
to
yep.
a network, nighttime show, you are looking at it and like, we get to rehearse. I only have enough lines for an hour-long drama. For a week, to get to know, to personalize, to really build a character and make sure that that's what comes through. After you've already done that, and by the way, you've done that with 1 million people watching, because soaps were huge back then when there were, what, 4 channels? 5 channels of entertainment?
Every household was tuned in. And we've interviewed soap opera stars on the show, and they also say it also, you have to become accountable for yourself and also like your own teacher. That you are in control of what happens, and you have to be that confident in yourself as an actor, which has helped people overcome confidence issues or self-esteem. It's because like you have to kind of do your own thing.
You're on your own. You're on your own. But again, this muscle memory. It learning these lines is really predicated on just this muscle. You build this thing. People go, how can you possibly do it? But you do it because it really is a muscle.
Yeah. Well, and that is a
like
skill.
so many things.
Back to the penis.
Unless you're data.
Always.
LGBTQ USB.
Dongle, baby, dongle.
I'm just reminded of our,
And Trekkies, we are
play
getting
to your-
Star Trek.
Play to your audience. Play to your audience.
Can I ask one more thing? Denise, can you tell everybody about the black box theater production that you did at Gaaays Theater?
We love Gates McFadden.
Where you
directs-
did a proper Southern belle. Do you remember that? I went to that.
Wait, are
and
we talking about the
It was a reading. It wasn't a full-on production.
Oh.
You want to let our audience in on
No,
this?
I can't. I mean, Gates directed me in an extraordinary play.
And
Did
for
you
the
see
Trekkies,
House of Gold?
Gates McFadden
Atwater,
directs.
right? That's the
Yes.
name
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it. The
And for
Atwater
the
Theater.
Trekkies that don't know, Gates McFadden directs a number of projects.
Well, I'm a member.
talking about, right?
I'm a member
Yes.
of Ensemble Studio Theater, which is a long-time theater company in New York, but has a West Coast ensemble. And Gates was the artistic director for many years. And she saw me in a play, a Tennessee Williams play called Orpheus Descending, a number of years ago, and which was extraordinary. It was an extraordinary production.
With Gail Harold.
With Gail
From Queer as Folk.
Oh my God!
Really?
We ripped. It was.
You guys together, I can imagine.
Oh my God! It's just one of Tennessee's great plays that he wrote. Gates, unannounced, was in the audience. I took my curtain call, and she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe what I just saw. I'm the artistic director of EST, and I was looking to connect with a theater company.
Yes.
Be a regular member here in LA, because I love theater. Is really my home. We in LA, we don't get to say that much, because it's very strange here, theater.
Theater
It's
in
hard to
LA,
make a living here.
and I want to support theater in LA, but it's not quite the experience you expect from theater. Few and far between.
It's few and far between. There's a lot of it. You got to search it out. You got to know what you're talking about. But if you tap into theater here, there can be unbelievable. I mean, this is where I saw Angels in America, in this city.
Yeah. Well, I think it is such a preconceived notion that if you're not New York or London, you're not really for real. And I have seen several productions, even and I find black box theater productions or reading the most exciting.
But it has to be done well. There's a lot of bad LA things.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do
It's the writing.
Carousel and Black Box.
No,
and they have
no.
these puppet effects, little horse going
No,
by.
it's the writing has to be, for me foremost. It's something, and I always said, if I'm going to do a play here in LA, it's got to be a thing that I cannot not do.
Okay, so let's.
It will haunt me if I don't.
So let's ask this question, because we got this different ways from your fans. It's like dream role, future, like if you're doing in sci-fi. But I want to know, for theater, what's a role that you would think that's something to do a play?
You know, I'm interested in new theater, so it hasn't even been written. You know, I can talk about. I've done certainly Tennessee Williams. I did an extraordinary production here in 1985 and 86 called Tamara, which ran for 11 years. It was the first play where you followed the actors room to room. It was done at
Those give me such anxiety. Like
Yeah.
the Choose Your Own Adventure books. I'm like,
Well,
I
yeah.
chose the wrong room.
It's a little bit of it's
It's so much pressure.
It had
Too much anxiety. I
It had
can't.
never been done. I mean,
Yeah.
it was about Tamara de Lempicka, the incredible Polish painter, real life, who in the 20s painted the most extraordinary art deco kind of portraits of high society, and she was asked to come to Gabriele D'Annunzio's villa in Italy to paint his portrait, and she stayed for a week in his villa. So the play takes place in his villa. It was done at the American Legionnaires building just south of the Hollywood Bowl. That beautiful building. It was a interactive play. I mean, you had Wolfgang Puck catering before he became Wolfgang Puck. He was the chef at
Spago.
no, not there was no Spago.
Well, at that point, the
It
food
McDonald's.
still-
Was it McDonald's? Everybody's got to start somewhere.
It was the little restaurant
That's your
on
go-to?
Melrose that
don't know.
Orson Welles frequented every afternoon for lunch. You know what I'm
Frank and Musso's. Musso and Frank.
Musso and
Sorry.
Frank.
I'd like
No,
to give the
and it
underdog.
wasn't- it
was
wasn't
like,
Musso and
Musso
Frank.
and Frank.
No. It
Frank
was,
and Musso. I'm doing a
It
whole
was
thing.
where Wolfgang Spock. Let's have some more. NEFT.
Sponsored
hello,
by NEFT
hello.
Vodka.
Thank
It's
you.
damn good vodka.
The damn good vodka of NEFT. Thank you very much. I have now combined Wolfgang Puck and Dr. Spock. Oh, Mr. Spock.
Oh my
Dr.
God, girl.
Spock,
There's
too.
like a baby and
He
pointed
was-
ears and a chef all in one room.
Oh, that makes for some pretty pictures, fans.
exactly where I saw this evening going. Exactly.
It's like a hologram.
Oh
room.
my God! I think my mom had the Dr. Spock book. He was very encouraging of spanking, if I recall.
Did she keep
Folks,
the receipt?
Do not go there. Burn. You know, we're talking about burning books a lot lately. Burn the goddamn Dr. Spock
Yeah,
book.
For real.
Okay,
Yep.
so Trekkies, we are getting to Star Trek, but I want to get through some points that your fans feel very strongly about. You worked with icons Aaron Spelling. You did the Melrose Place spinoff. You also worked with Quentin Tarantino. Now, at the time that you worked with them, you know, kind of still working through stuff, now looking back, what did you learn most from these kind of big names?
Okay, wait. No, I want to go back to your comment. Working with them and working through stuff. What does
Oh.
that mean? Working through stuff.
No, like working with them.
Oh, okay.
And
but then
working
you
through
said,
the material.
Oh, okay.
Hang
Then
on.
You said
They're
working
like
through
Models
stuff.
Incorporated.
And I thought,
No,
There,
no, not
wait.
personal.
There
And I-
was a spin-off of Melrose.
Called Models
was,
Incorporated.
there was.
We have a picture.
There was.
She's at a desk.
Oh,
and
wait,
she's ready
wait.
to like,
Heather
Show it.
Locklear, right?
show it. Oh,
It's-
my God.
It's
It's
like
been,
a desk, yeah.
I was like this.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. I thought you were a
And-
fan.
Oh, I was. Oh, that suits wrong.
Oh, sorry.
And that's, you know, we could say that was Models Inc., but, you know.
So
not
this
really.
is Models Inc. She's wearing a turtleneck and she looks very modelistic. Anyway, but so no, not working through stuff.
Okay.
but
Okay, that's
I
what I
meant
thought.
working through the material. So
Oh, my
Models
God.
Inc. had a lot of press, and it was the Melrose Place spinoff, and also Quentin Tarantino, Jackie Brown. We think of Quentin Tarantino today, and we're like, oh my God, you know, he's the Alfred
Oh,
Hitchcock
he-
of our time.
Okay.
But at the point of Jackie Brown, I think you worked with a very different Quentin Tarantino.
I have such a good Quentin Tarantino story. Do you have time?
Girl, we're going to be here until like,
3?
on the Jeremy with Telethon. We're in hour
clock-
5.
I check out at 3 a.m. Then I turn into a pumpkin, so we're good. Okay, so Quentin, we have more NEFT, right? I'm assuming. Okay,
They've called me. They're like,
yeah.
we didn't
Speaking
like
of it-
DS9 either.
I'm going home with an oil barrel, by the way, an oil
yes,
barrel,
we do,
a
we do.
drum. I'm
NEFT
going home with a
vodka-
drum of
NEFT
NEFT.
Vodka gives vodka to our guest and a hat. I'm sure you love that.
Hang on. Do I get a hat?
So okay, wait, no. This this is
Denise,
so Al
focus.
Capone. I'm so slipping this into my,
That's for you.
my bootleg.
Okay, but looking back and looking like
Okay,
Eric
let's talk
Spelling
about-
has created this
okay.
TV empire, and Quentin Tarantino has changed the face of film.
Oh,
what
God.
did you learn most from them, or do you just want to tell the Quentin
Okay,
Tarantino story?
let me talk about Quentin Tarantino.
And he loves his blondes.
Okay.
Is it that kind of
let
story?
me talk about.
Tell the story.
Well,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you some of Quentin Tarantino's stories. Okay, what I can tell you.
That NDA is still in effect, isn't it?
He's
yeah.
not even smart enough
Okay.
to do those.
So Quentin Tarantino. Okay. I had read a script called Reservoir Dogs. It was floating around Hollywood.
This is good tea.
I'm telling you, Don, just listen, man. I got some shit to tell.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Okay,
fun.
so Reservoir Dogs was the bomb. This script was in every actor's hands I knew. No girls. There were no girls, if you remember. So it was a very, masculine script. But every guy I knew was trying to get in on this part. And I read the script and went, oh, my God. I've never read anything like this. This is so good.
And it was early Tarantino. He wasn't
not,
the name.
He had not. He had written. What was the thing that Patricia Arquette?
True Romance?
True
Oh,
Romance.
yes.
True Romance. He may have written first, but it didn't get made. It hadn't been made. Okay, Reservoir Dogs was Quentin's first made film. Okay, so every actor I knew was auditioning. Everybody was getting in on it. I go to a party, a Hollywood party.
She fancy.
No,
She
no.
doesn't
But
want to
those
admit
parties are
it.
exhausting
It
too.
wasn't even like.
That I'm on your level, but
But Quentin is there with
doing this.
his girlfriend at the time, Stacy Scher,
A
who was
blonde?
running. No, dark haired. Who was running? I believe. Danny DeVito had a production company. They were partners, okay? So we're in a cocktail party up in the Hollywood Hills, not fancy, just kind of cruising. He goes, hi. He goes, oh, no. He comes up to me and he goes, oh, my God. You're in one of my favorite films. It's called Arizona Heat.
yeah, you were.
I went, wait a minute. You saw nobody I know has seen Arizona Heat. No, you were with my one of my favorite actors. Remind me, who's in Arizona Heat
Nicolas
with me?
Cage.
No, not Nicolas Cage. Oh my God, he later went on to do he put him in all these movies with him.
Mickey Rourke.
No. He's an old-time Hollywood star.
Mickey Rourke.
Kevin Spacey.
No.
Michael Parks.
Michael Parks.
Yes.
Okay.
Well
Wait,
done.
Don't take it away. No, I just
Thank
guessed
you,
it.
God.
Well-
Sorry, sorry, listeners. So I played the gay lesbian cop partnered with Michael Parks.
You know what? Lesbians are gay, just so you know.
Whatever. Is that whatever? I'm sorry. I'm so I don't even know what IA means.
I'm just
okay. Yeah, you can fill me in later. I'm so
Even IA is like, yeah. I is.
I mean,
I am.
I'm just I'm
Look at that poster.
I'm a
That's like a
lesbian
Hollywood poster.
icon. Okay, let me just say. Okay, so I'm partnered with this redneck fucking cop, and we end up. He saves my life. I give him shit all through our partnership. Anyway, Michael Parks went on to do Quentin's series of movies about the ninjas.
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill. Okay.
And they're doing Kill Bill 3,
okay.
everybody,
He
just so you know.
loves. Okay. So I'm at this party and I'm going, wait, what? You saw Arizona Heat? I mean, no one in the world saw.
You're like, I didn't even watch it.
I didn't even watch. This is a
But
B
that's
movie.
totally his style.
Okay.
though.
Yes.
100%.
Right. We know that now. But at the time, And he said, yeah, I'm so new. I said, what's your name? And he said, Quentin Tarantino. And I went, oh my God, I just read your script, Reservoir Dogs. It's so great. And he goes, really? You liked it? And I went, yeah, it's so good. So we chatted at the party. I went to do a Comic-Con signing a couple days later in Pasadena. There's Quentin in my line.
Shut up,
With my
everybody.
Hello.
Wow.
With my Tasha Yar action figure. He comes up to me and I go, hey, how are you? And he goes, oh, would you sign some? I go, oh my God, of course. Yeah.
Did you wipe it off first?
And he said, I'm going to put this on my next to my John Travolta Saturday Night Live doll.
I bet you it's still there.
Oh my God.
And I went, oh my God, that's so cool. And he said, I said, how's what did you make Reservoir? Yeah, we're screening it at Sundance. I said, I'm going to Sundance. I'm going to Sundance. He goes, I'll see you. Can you be my guest? And I went to the first screening of Reservoir Dogs at the Sundance Film Festival when Sundance was cool. Not like it's like, market.
Sponsored by Mentos.
Yeah. But hello.
Girl, we gotta turn the lights on. Hello.
Let me just take this opportunity to say, if you are going to the Sundance Film Festival and you want to bring a barrel of NEFT and sponsor me on the rocks, I will happily. Because Quentin will get us in. Quentin will get us in. By the way, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Just a little commercial break. Okay, so Quentin.
Can we actually mark that as a commercial
I
break?
go to Sundance. There's Quentin, and it's when I first went to Sundance. Let me just frame the festival because it's so out of bounds right now. We never bought a ticket to any screenings. We never bought a pass. There were a bunch of us girls, all like D girls in Hollywood development. There was all these different girls working for different producers and stuff. We'd all rent a condo. If you were streaming out of the theater watching a film, you once you went in, you got a stamp if you had a ticket. So we would just press their hand on the top of ours and get the stamp back.
That's the hustle.
And we'd go in.
That's how you make it work.
So we went in, and Reservoir Dogs was off the charts. It changed the game forever that night. But that screening was, I believe, if I'm not wrong, Reservoir Dogs, Steven Soderbergh's Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
Oh wow.
Boxing Helena.
This is when Hollywood was changing. It was ready for a shift.
This was indie
fucking
film.
Yeah.
It was about film. It wasn't about agents, marketing,
People
all
were
that
sick
shit.
of Christopher Columbus, sick of John Hughes.
Yeah.
People wanted something that they
Real.
could connect to and gritty that was affecting their own lives.
So I'm making a big circular loop back to Jackie Brown.
Yum.
So Quentin and I became friends. So when Quentin made Pulp Fiction, he calls me. I remember taking the phone on my wall phone in my kitchen. He calls me and said, I've written a part for you in Pulp Fiction. It involves the 5 Force Foxes. Okay? So Uma Thurman's character is an actress, and remember, she gets high with John Travolta's character at her house one day, and he says, what, show me something you've done. She goes, well, I was in the Force 5 Foxes. And she plugs in a VHS tape. And it's like sort of her Charlie's Angels, career. So Quentin said, I want you to be the mama fox. I want you to be the head fox. And you're giving the foxes their instructions. You're going to
You were Charlie? You were going to be Charlie?
I was Charlie Fox.
Oh, except hot.
I was the fox.
Hot.
I was the Force 5 Fox. And then
that was so sexy,
and
everybody,
I said,
by the way.
And I said, oh man, great. And then he called me back and said, "We can't. We're the editing, the cut of the script. We're not going to film that." I said, "Okay." But then when Jackie Brown came around, he called me again and said, "I want you to play her lawyer."
And this is how I've heard from many different actors. We had Tracy Toms on the show, who obviously done a lot of his work. We think Quentin Tarantino is he's a big Hollywood. He is. He keeps his friends close and people that he connects with. He's really a shy kind of self-defensive person, so he surrounds himself, and so he'll cast people that he feels comfortable with. It's almost like he's an agoraphobic, almost.
He's not, he's not a sophisticated, raconteur. He's a
so
film.
shy,
He's
don't
a
talk too
film
loud
nerd.
Yeah.
He's a film nerd who is really a visual artist. I mean, he is. What is the word I'm looking for? They don't use it anymore with filmmakers. An auteur. He's an auteur. He is truly an auteur. There is no one that can make a film like him.
100%.
Yeah.
And
remember
also,
oh, yeah.
people wouldn't think this, but didn't you tell me that in between takes, salsa music was played, and you would do a little dancing?
In Jackie Brown?
In Jackie Brown.
Oh, it's not unusual. I mean, I'm sure. No,
But
but
he
But also, music is a big part of.
I mean,
just
well,
listen
music,
to the soundtrack of Kill
of
Bill.
course,
It's like,
of course.
bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum,
No,
bum, bum. Wake
I
up,
would-
bitch.
Oh man, I was just happy to work with Pam. Pam was so
God,
fucking great.
yes.
And Samuel Jackson was there, and Michael Keaton was there on set that day. And I'm as nerdy as anyone. I'm like, oh God, don't say anything.
Well, obviously, Quentin is a
you know.
bigger nerd.
Oh,
which
yeah,
I
he's
love.
a bigger.
And we all know that he was going to write the first rated R Star Trek script.
Oh,
Which he actually wrote.
Yeah, what?
And it was the Next Generation world, by the way. So
Well-
who knows who was in it?
Well, I was the star.
Yep.
I was the
Yep.
star.
We're going to get to Star Trek, but we have to get
with
to
John
one of the...
Travolta.
Denise, I have pages and pages.
We're here. I'm here until 3. Okay.
Yeah, but poor
Thank
Tony
you.
has to go home to his husband.
And this is a time to thank NEFT Vodka.
God, my smudge just go through the roof. Anyway, but we are going to get to Trek. But
Yes.
one other thing that we do have to talk about, it has its own kind of fan group. It's your role in Pet Sematary.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's real.
Rachel in Pet Sematary, based on the novel by Stephen King. Stephen King also wrote the screenplay. So I want to know, why did you want to do the project in the first place? And it kind of was it, because
I think you
had
just
read,
said why.
Is it because you had read the book and you were like,
No, I mean, so truth with Pet. So Mary Lambert directed Pet Cemetery, and Mary. Okay.
well, I want to ask this question because we
Okay.
got this from so many of your
Yeah.
fans that are directing. Having a female director in the horror film genre was so different and unique. Even today, it's like, oh, well, she couldn't possibly know about horror. So
What?
Didn't she also direct Deep Impact?
No, Mimi Leader.
Oh, Mimi
another
Leader.
another
Right.
female
another
director.
porn movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Well, I've
what?
seen both
Porn movie, and I'm
versions.
just- I'm
porn
kidding.
deep.
Deep Impact. Oh, Denise, you knew.
Was I in
you
that?
were go-
Was I in that one? Okay.
LGBTQUSB.
If
No,
so,
no, but-
I want the link. I want the link.
But also-
because also, I just have to say, the only copy of Playboy I have in my home. Just saying, the pearls.
Wow.
Oh,
That's so pervy.
you
Okay.
know? Oh, totally.
That
But
takes
it's all
fandom
about
to a different
being
level. I'm not
fluid.
quite
But
there.
Exactly.
I forgot to wear my little badge.
Exactly. I love it.
No, but I also love that Pet
God,
Cemetery
let's
has become.
Move this forward. Let's move this shit
Let's move this to
forward.
Risa.
Exactly. Yeah. Hell yes.
I think we're halfway
Hell
there.
yes.
Wait, just take a look. No, but what I love is that Mary did direct it, and at that time, especially during that time, women directors in the horror genre were just like, couldn't possibly.
Right. So, women directors are still, climbing up the ladder. However, Mary and I fell in love with each other over music videos. I did her very first. So, okay, let's frame it 1984, 84. Music videos, MTV was born. When was 100%. MTV born? Early 80s, right?
Ask Dan, not me.
You know what?
Okay, look up As Above, So Below, the Tom Tom Club. Okay, that was Mary's first music video she ever directed, and that came about because she had gone to RISD, Rhode Island School of Design, with the Talking Heads. Oh. So she was very good friends with Tina and Chris Weymouth, who are in the Talking Heads.
I thought you meant Turner. I thought you were dropping a very big
no,
name.
No.
And
me
just
and
being
Tina.
like,
No,
Tina.
I'm gonna try to validate, my vodka drinking here, with proof.
We just got renewed in the 2
and
seconds.
I'm going to take this moment to tell you that NEFT vodka is such a lovely, cool, and soothing drink after a long day.
It's better than Romeo and Ale.
And it's so beautiful. And I suggest everyone try and take a sip whenever you can.
Or
Thank
a gulp
you.
like we've done.
Or a barrel.
Yeah.
Hopefully get a barrel. Hopefully get an oil barrel. They very conveniently market it in a big oil rig, which is
Look for our mugshots
perfect,
on TMZ. It's like
which is
Denise
perfect,
Crosby.
which is perfect for someone like me.
I didn't think it was possible, but I love you even more right now in this moment.
I know. Well, you're a sucker.
I'm easy. I'm
you're
easy is
you're
what she
such
wants
an easy.
to say.
You're
Yeah.
so easy.
I
Okay,
know.
wait. Let me.
Did you have to audition for Pet Sematary? Or
I did. I had to test. I had to test for Paramount.
But you had already started doing Star Trek.
I had done Star Trek.
Yeah.
I'd left Star Trek. It was the end of the first season. I'd left. I had no, people think, oh, I left for,
We're getting to that. We have all
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Okay.
But also, just to kind of preface this, is that you had such an indelible mark on Star Trek. You did 22 episodes. And so in the term of Star Trek,
Well,
we're like,
the first
all
season,
these.
but then, I subsequently came back.
No, but you left after, you
Oh, I
filmed.
left,
Yeah.
yes.
So
after.
22 episodes. But we think of, your time on Star Trek as yes. Okay, so you had left Star Trek. And
I'd left Star Trek. So Mary Lambert, I did her very first music video, which was, a big thing. I did it with Judd Nelson. Anthony Clytus from the Red Hot Chili Peppers was in
Anthony Kiedis.
it. Sorry, Anthony.
He was on my wall too, but for different reasons. It's because I was so rock.
He's so awesome.
sexy.
And his father lived 3 doors down from me. And
Was his father cute too?
He was. He was Blackie.
What's his number?
His name was Blackie. No, he's passed. He's passed.
Well, Pet Sematary. We could bring him back.
Oh.
No, I'm not burying him
not
there.
So much.
No.
Not so much.
So
Is that a bad joke?
I was
feel like
well.
No,
I
it's
was a
so
little
sorry.
worried that
No.
you were saying Blackie for the wrong.
No.
Do you
His
want to do your
name was
audition song
Blackie.
again?
He was an actor and a kind of like a punk kind of star, and Anthony had this kind of
God,
interesting.
Anthony Kiedis.
Oh,
And Red Hot
so
Chili
good.
Peppers also introduced themes of fluidity and sexuality was just kind of like who you were.
That's what was going on, man. Growing up in LA in the 80s, that's what was happening.
But also, can you talk about how scary it was also for West Hollywood in the 80s? People were dying left and right.
I grew up I had an apartment. My very first apartment was in West Hollywood, off of Santa Monica Boulevard on La Jolla. Down the block from the Gold Coast Bar and Book
during-
Circus.
Oh my God!
my
That
God.
was
That's my history. That's my coming out. That's my
darling.
growing up.
Yeah, I
So
was.
Gold Coast.
I don't
Gold,
wanna-
well, the Gold Coast, yeah, and then you have
Vaseline
Books-
Alley is what they called.
We called it Blowjob Alley.
Oh my God!
evolved. We said
I
Vaseline
don't want to
Alley.
tell you what my book circus experiences were.
Circus of books.
Circus of books.
Circus of
Yeah,
books.
see, I
Yeah,
was so like.
You were
oh,
so young.
At the
You guys had
time,
one
I
miss-
don't
Oh my
remember
God.
the name.
You were so young.
It still exists, doesn't it?
No.
They wrote your name.
No,
Oh,
I
no,
went
no,
there
no.
the other day.
They wrote your name on the thing.
I mean, no, I didn't go there the other day.
Yes,
I didn't see you
girl,
there.
It's like a sex
yes.
shop. It's like a sex shop.
You know, I would tell you because
But there's a documentary. There's a documentary.
You never knew who was on the other side of a
fabulous.
glory hole. You're just like, oh.
Who
Oh
cared?
my God! And then you had the rock club. What was that rock club on the corner there?
Oh,
It starts with an S.
Okay, can we
Okay.
stop this,
Sex.
please?
No.
No.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I mean, I'm
But
telling you,
let's,
darling.
if we can.
Okay.
Pet Cemetery. Talking about how amazing it was
Hi,
to have
I'm
a
going
female
to take
director
this
that worried about
opportunity
blowjobs and
to
Vaseline
welcome you to NEFT Vodka, the only vodka I've seen delivered in an oil drum.
If they don't send me a check tomorrow morning,
I'm going
no,
to
For
just
real.
suggest a lifetime.
I said no hangover tomorrow. Now I'm not sure. Okay, but honestly, let's bring it back. Denise.
Yes. Okay.
So Pet Cemetery with Stephen King, and he was the screenwriter. So was he on set?
Oh my God, yes. So we got to Maine, where he lived and
Yep.
where
Maine,
lives
Maine.
and where we film, where he writes, all of his settings. And we had 2 weeks of rehearsal before we shot anything.
That's it.
Oh, that's huge.
That's great.
That's
Yeah.
Wait, for a
luscious.
special effects laden film?
Oh no, but the special effects we
If you
had
had to work
all
with a
done.
kid.
We had all done. Okay, that's a whole other. But
Miko.
we had Miko. We had
Miko.
all done all the prep of effects and
Prosthetics, yeah.
prosthetics before we even got there, because it was done in a lab here in the valley. Really fine artist.
Now, did Stephen say we have to film where I'm living?
No, but the film, blessedly, was set. The book was set, blessedly.
Of course.
I'm getting ready for my ministry.
We're not supposed to.
My popus. I'm becoming a
I'm the
popus.
one that's supposed to be leaking it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let's dial it back. Okay, we
Universal Church?
She's marrying us. Just.
But
But that's not the
in nomine
part.
Patre, the
Okay.
Fia, the Spiritus Sancti.
Is that Fred Wynn? Is that Fred Wynn? Did Fred Wynn just... We've lost control.
Who
We haven't
knows?
talked about Star
Oh,
Trek.
no.
We haven't talked about Star Trek.
Okay, wait.
You
no,
just
let's
can't
talk
do
about
this.
Everybody,
Okay.
everybody,
Okay, I won't.
shift it back.
I'm so wearing a amateur. What do they call?
If you show up with
something-
shoes on, I'll be surprised
No.
at this point.
Okay, wait. No, let's. Okay,
I
let's.
really want to talk about the importance of
Let's
Pet Cemetery.
organize ourselves, okay? Please. Okay. So, Pet Cemetery. Okay, that was in Maine.
You guys, this movie literally kind of changed the whole
It changed the
film.
world. This movie changed
Well, I
the
wouldn't go
world.
there. The UN was like, this movie didn't change the world, just so you
It
know.
changed the world.
This is also
It
Alexander, your best episode ever. I'm just saying. Oh, he's
We
not
had Biden
agreeing,
in
but
our
it's
last one. That was kind of
fine.
interesting. Anyway, no, but literally, let's talk
Okay.
about Pet because your fans sent
So we
me
got there.
pages of
I know.
of questions.
Let's please help them out.
So
and
when you
give
first
them
read
answers.
it and you were like, okay,
Well, wait.
with Fred Wynn, by the way.
Oh wait,
who's a
let's go
veteran
back.
actor.
Let's go back to how Mary. I know.
I'm not sure how far back we can go.
Wait,
Should we time travel?
we're here.
Since that's Star Trek's favorite
We're
thing,
here.
now it's like, oh, I got a paper cut. Let's
Okay.
time travel. I didn't get a paper cut.
Back in Turkana 4, I was given the script. No. Okay, so
gotta get this show
Mary,
together.
Mary, you did it. Hi, I'm going to take this opportunity once again.
We have to get to Star Trek.
Okay.
Let's finish on Pet Cemetery.
Pet
Because it
Sematary
actually
was
is a
amazing.
very important part of your career.
I agree.
And you have a fan base that are so Pet Cemetery.
I know.
Because
Thank
they're
God.
Stephen King fans.
Yeah.
And you did the role right. You made
thank
this
you.
movie work.
Pet, Stephen, in my novel of Pet Cemetery, I had 2 weeks of rehearsal with him, which he.
And he's kind of weird. He's like Quentin
He's
Tarantino almost.
Well, I mean, if that's no, what is weird?
Just a
I
little
don't
shy.
know.
I guess just a little bit more
Nothing's
shy
weird.
than you would imagine. It's like Stephen King, but he's
Whatever.
Like shy.
Nothing's weird to me. I don't. Well, Dan is weird.
Yeah.
But no, nothing's weird. Nothing's weird. So,
I'm not going to object to that.
So he just was gracious in giving us his thoughts and time and anything we needed to ask, any questions we had. Because, our job was trying to bring these characters from the page of a novel to life.
And it wasn't a schlock horror film. It's like jump scares and like, boo, It was, you were playing Rachel, who was going through her own turmoil.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty intense. And then you had to deal with special effects. Then you had to deal with like a kid actor.
Well, how about that Miko Hughes? I mean, generally, if I'm sure
He
you
was
know,
so young.
to have a child, when as a director you're using children in films, you always get twins, just as we did with Ellie. So that played Ellie is two twins.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Because you're limited in obviously child labor laws and the amount of time you can work with an actor on set. So Mary Lambert, the director, fell so in love with Miko that she was willing to forego the requirements and the burdens that were going to, impact the set to work with this one actor. One actor. There wasn't a double.
He did get it.
What Mary
So
did,
well.
what Mary did was genius, and I've only seen this once on film.
Oh, yeah. Creepy.
What she did was what she did.
He was a child.
She filmed the film in sequence, which is never done.
Nobody has that budget
really?
to film.
Nobody
a film
has
sequence.
usually has that budget, but she built that in. So by the time Miko gets to the point where he's, come back from the dead and doing matricide, which we always were worried that they were going to pull the plug at any given moment. This was too. As a matter of fact, when Stephen wrote this novel, he put it in a drawer and shut it away, and said, "I've gone too far."
Yeah.
And because he owed a second book on his contract,
I know this for a
that's
fact.
why
That's
why he threw this in.
And it's pushing that envelope
Right.
as to like what's accepted. It brings a whole different dynamic towards parenthood and having a kid, right?
Right.
Well, and
But you as
also,
an actress having to go through that journey.
Here's the thing. I was not a
Sorry to cut you
mother
off.
yet when I made this film. Nor Dale didn't have kids.
That must have
or
been
Brad, who played Pascal, didn't have kids. So nor did Mary have kids. And I think about this in the sense that, in a way, it saved me. Because I don't know how I would have been able to play this part in a way. It gave me the freedom of my imagination, which is always what you want as an actor. But at the end of the day, you only have yourself and your own experiences. And
Which brings you back to the beginning of when you're like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to be my own person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and also back to what you were saying about the fact that this was not something that was done. Like you said, he put it in a drawer because he didn't think people would accept it. You don't know what people will accept until you give it a shot.
Or you push the envelope,
put
you
it out
shave your
there,
head, and you'd be like,
boom.
Well, you need an audience response. I've just been reading the great writer David Sedaris in The New Yorker right now.
have you read Augustin Burroughs?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
I'm going to send you a whole package of
Okay,
books.
good. I'm mad for him. I mean, I'm writing right now, so I'm
I can
in
see
love
this
with
kind
him.
of energy. It's
So
totally good.
he is writing though about his experience in the pandemic and all his speaking he does huge speaking tours.
And he has a very unique
Oh,
personality.
so beautiful. I love him. And he was just talking about how you can write and you can send it out and you can get it published even, but without the audience feedback from his tours that he was so accustomed to doing live stage readings. He had
Which
no
terrified
idea.
him, by the way.
Really?
Really?
It
He's even written
terrifies
about
him.
it. He is like, I don't want to do it.
Because
It's
wow.
part of the job, but he hates it. It's his
That's-
least favorite part.
God,
He's terrified.
He's so in this New Yorker. He's so absent of it and craving it.
Well, that's how you
In a weird-
workshop
But
something.
but I get the contradiction. I get how what every opening night I've ever been to, I think I'm going to die. And I don't understand why I put myself through this.
That's very interesting. It's a-
Until you step out on stage.
And then I'm engaged
You're
in
no
the play.
longer
Me,
Denise.
right.
You are the character. And
Right.
to be that character,
Right.
not scary.
So I think
Right.
we're going to bring this over to the first time you stepped on stage for Star Trek. I think it's time for the Star Trek section. So when we come back, we are talking with Denise about Star Trek. When we come back.
And I'm going to just take this
Oh,
opportunity to tell you that NEFT vodka is a beautiful, smooth drink that's delivered in barrels, and it keeps everyone happy.
Well said. Well said.
Oh,
Okay.
my Lord.
This is Alexander from On the Rocks, where celebrities and cocktails mix. Here to chat about fandaddies.com. High fives and good vibes is your go-to site to get the hottest accessory for 2021. Yes, the fabulous clacking fan with designs that are totally fetch. And you may think that fetch can't happen, but it totally can. They call me Fetch Betch. Now here are the top uses for your Fandaddies fan. To look fabulous. You can spill the tea and tell secrets, but fancy-like. It is also the perfect punctuation for reclaiming your time. I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
But I'm speaking.
I have to
I'm
weigh
speaking.
in.
And it can also cover that vodka breath. Oh, it's mouthwash, I swear. And last but not least, it makes you look fabulous. So fabulous you have to say it twice. So go to fandaddies.com and get the fan for that best suits your image. Until we can clack our way through festivals, prides, and events, it's the perfect accessory to spruce up your Instagram selfies or send as a gift. So extra. Support small businesses at fandaddies.com. Fandaddies.com. Here we go. Go. So, we're getting to the Star Trek part of the evening. So, Denise is going to spill all the tea. As you've heard, she's going to spill all the tea. But in the meantime, we have Nathan, who is an important part of Gaaays in Space. And I want to know from you, you are an East Coast boy.
Yes.
You're an actor, you're a performer, you're a singer. You are a staunch supporter of Gaaays in Space.
Yeah, I joined Gaaays in Space shortly before the pandemic. I started going to the viewing parties that they would have at Vodka Soda in Hell's Kitchen.
What happens at the viewing parties?
It was like during the first season of Picard, so it would be sorry, I'm just like leaning back and chatting. It was during the first season of Picard, so we would show up, have drinks. Dan would do a thing. There's raffles, they had giveaways. The stars would sign things that people could win. But then we would watch Picard and sit and talk about it afterwards, and just hang out with other gays, gay people who enjoyed Star Trek.
So let's talk about you. Your first exposure to Star Trek and what it meant to you.
I grew up. My first exposure to Star Trek was The Next Generation. It was my parents who introduced me to it. And
How young were you? You were like,
I mean, I'm probably older than I look, I hope. I was, in 10, 11, 12, something like that, like when I was first introduced. But then when I was more of a teenager, I was able to get into Deep Space Nine and Voyager, like more on my own, and I loved Deep
And you didn't
Space Nine.
fall asleep?
Should we talk about how great Deep Space Nine
No.
is for a minute?
But what I love is I feel so possessive about like the Star Trek energy. I'm the OG cast, and I'm like, oh, Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3. And so to go to conventions and to hear about this younger generation. And Star Trek means something so different for you.
Yeah, it's true. Like I was introduced to it, so it was like a family thing with Next Generation. But then I felt like Deep Space Nine and Voyager, like I could connect with the characters, and it was my Trek, and so I really got more into that. And now, seeing all the new, different iterations of Trek that there are.
What do you think about the new?
Oh my God, I love them each for different reasons, and they all have such different things to bring to the Star Trek universe.
Is it okay to be critical of the new Trek stuff?
Oh, absolutely. I think you have to. Like, you have to be critical. Nothing is perfect. Like, there is no. Well, I mean, Strange New World is pretty close. I really do love the new Strange New World.
Is it just because of Ethan Peck?
Well, Ethan Peck, Anson Mount, and everybody else too. The entire show. No, I really did love all of it. But there's something that I love in every one of the Star Trek series that's out now. There's also things that I'm critical of myself that I watch that I don't completely 100% enjoy or wish they could do a little bit differently. But I think they're figuring it out and they're getting it. And I feel like, honestly, Strange New World is kind of it shows that they're listening to the fans so much more too. Strange New Worlds only came about because the fans demanded it from the characters, and after they saw them in Discovery season 2. And I think that's probably the best move that these creators could have taken, was listen to what the fans want to see and really try their best to do it.
What do you want for Star Trek for you?
For me, well, if there's any producers listening, I am an actor who would love to do a Star. What I would love to see in Star Trek is...
What kind of role would you play on Star Trek?
Oh my gosh, if they need
a Vulcan?
Vulcan would be great, but if you need a new actor to play Q, if you need anything else for a Q universe, like anything like that, oh my God, yeah, that's the role I would take on. A dream role, if I could do any sort of form of a Q.
We kind of saw him kind of break down.
Yeah, I mean...
Did you like that kind of part of it?
Oh, that was that entire story, and like the season 2 of Picard. I was very happy with how that all went.
This is where Trekkies disagree.
Oh, you did? Oh, you didn't? Deep Space Nine for you?
It wasn't quite that. You can see Nathan at many of the Gaaays in Space and singing, actually, as well.
Yeah, the reason I got involved with Gaaays in Space more was because Dan asked me to write some Trek parodies. So I've taken popular songs and turned them into Trek parody songs, and I performed them at a lot of our events. And that's my involvement, mostly.
I love it. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we are doing part 2, and we are talking about Star Trek now that we're liquored up. Thank you, Nathan. Where can people find and follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram. You can just look up my name, Nathan Bonk, B-O-N-K. I'm the first one that pops up. It's at Bonkurama is the name that I go under.
And what's the Instagram for your booty?
It has its own. It's at, but no, I don't have one. I do not.
Did you see me? I was like...
You're like, what is...
Yeah. All right, we're going to take another break. It's Denise, and it's Star Trek. Thank you, Nathan.
Thanks for having me.
So we are refilling the studio, but I have to tell you, I just have to share. You know, On the Rocks is different every single week, and we have celebrities.
Nice.
No. I'm trying to have an intimate moment, Denise Crosby. I can't be in Playboy.
It's not a good thing that it's different every time.
But I just want to say, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know you were a Trekkie. I'm like, 100% I'm a Trekkie. In fact, we're doing an event in West Hollywood, and I have to tell you, I was raised by a single mom in Orange County. We didn't have the means, but I got scholarships to be in private school. Couldn't afford the shoes at the time, anything. My safe space was Star Trek because I became part of a family that just kept me going. It didn't matter what I looked like, didn't matter how much money we had. It was like something towards the future. And so 100%, and I've shared this story with you.
You're going to make me cry. Don't make me cry.
100%. My mom, we knew, and this was back in the time where your mom or parent would actually have to take you out of school. We knew that whenever there was a movie premiering, I would just wait because I knew they didn't have the midnight showings at 11 p.m. on a Thursday or whatever. The first showing was a Friday at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. That's all you got.
Yes.
Before social media, before everything.
Yeah.
And I would just know, because my mom and I knew, because Star Trek was so important to her growing up, that I would just wait and wait, and then the nurse would knock on the door, and I would just know and pack up, and we would go see the first showing of Star Trek in the first 3 rows, and the music would hit. And so that was my relationship to Star Trek, was I felt family. All I had was my mom and me. And I think that's the power of Star Trek for whoever you are. And so...
What was your first movie? Star Trek II, right? Wrath of Khan. It was Wrath of
No,
Khan.
bitch. It was Star Trek 3, and then...
I had to try, but yes, 3.
But
Mine was 5.
And so what we're going to talk about... So let's talk about Star Trek.
Let's please do.
But, you know, when we talk about...
This is why I'm here.
Why
by the
fans
way.
are
I mean,
fans. Star Trek has actually saved lives. And we heard through Trekkies...
Oh.
We heard with James Doohan that it actually has changed lives. But let's talk about Star Trek. From the beginning, what was your exposure to Star Trek prior to auditioning, even?
Oh, my God. I have such a rich...
Do you want some more?
Let me take this moment.
No!
No, I'm not. Okay.
No more. Tony's like...
Yeah.
No, it's totally fine. I will take this moment to talk about.
God.
No. I'm going to take this moment to refill. That's
So,
what I'm going to
1963, right? The original. 1966, 63.
The
original-
66 ending in
66.
69,
Okay.
which I remember.
They had a little hiatus.
So, I was on the young side. I was certainly born, but young to really embrace Star Trek. I remember kind of glancing at it, but I was more a Batman, monkeys, kind of the you know. What was Ilya Kuryakin and Hans?
Mission Impossible.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Girl, do I know my entertainment or do I know my
Avengers kind of girl. I was more Twilight Zone kind of weird.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Rod Serling.
Yeah,
He's
really,
like a Gene Roddenberry to
Alfred
me. It was-
Hitchcock presents. Yeah, really. So Star Trek kind of. I didn't. Oh, but I loved the Billy Mooney. You know,
Charlie.
space, thing they did.
Lost
Charlie
in
Lost
Mooney.
in Space.
Lost in Space.
I love
Charlie Mooney was in Lost
You
in Space,
mean
but he was also
Voyager.
in many...
Billy Mooney was in
he was in
Lost
2
in
episodes of Twilight Zone 2.
Yes, but
And then
he
he was
was
in
the
Star
kid.
Trek,
in
too.
And
He
also,
was
I'm
Charlie.
very sorry, on Deep Space Nine.
Billy Mooney, I love him.
Did he bring out his guitar too? And
Oh, I love him.
we can all
Yes,
get into-
I know him actually. Anyway, that's
Sorry.
another story. Anyway, okay. So, when I really got into Star Trek, I was 18 and I was living on an organic farm in Malibu, and I was.
you were part of cult. Just say that.
I was not a cult. I was not a cult. I was just a hippie, organic, way ahead of her time.
Yes.
You know,
I'm
hippie child.
teasing, but
Totally
but I
see that.
couldn't, yeah, there were cults, but thank God I didn't join one. And
just the Star Trek one.
no, I didn't join that one either. Hello.
I'm
oh
teasing.
my
I'm
You
God.
checked
okay.
it out for a
Okay.
season, and then you were like,
I-
I'm not buying it.
Okay,
not
wait,
there
no.
yet.
I was 18, and my landlord on the 6.5 acre farm in Malibu, Chico, was an Italian immigrant who bought this property after World War II, and he made an organic farm. And Chico was 82, and I was 18, and we would watch Star Trek every night at 5 o'clock.
I love Chico.
Chico.
I'd never met him,
Chico.
but I love
Chico. I would probably be, taking a bong hit and gone into Chico's house, and he'd be there with his, sometimes his respirator on.
Oh, he's
And
arrested
we
for
would-
inappropriate.
Can
No,
yeah,
no.
Can I just say
And
how
we would-
much better an end to that story actually was than I was fearing? The fact that Chico and you took a bong hit and you were like, "Oh, Star Trek, Yes.
Oh, we would.
Yes.
You know, the greatest thing was to watch Star Trek Stone.
So
you know,
cool.
at 18,
Yes.
Because
right?
it was so psychedelic with the
Yeah.
graphics and,
Well,
and the colors of the uniform.
And then once I ventured out and was living in my West Hollywood apartment on La Jolla, Star Trek would come on every night at 5, and it was like the coolest thing. It was like our go-to. It was American Bandstand and Soul Train and Star Trek.
And the funny thing is now Star Trek is now on TV Land at 5 and 6 p.m.
Yeah, I think that is the cool. That is so. I'm so happy to hear that.
So I want to know your reaction. So you heard as an actor that they're going to do a Next Generation. I want to know the audition process. I want to know what sides you got and what your first reaction. Did you think loving this kind of? It was a different kind of reaction for you, environment. Were you like, oh yeah, let's do this? Or you were like,
He wants to know if you got high before the audition.
No. So of course not. But not of course not. But
Thank you.
No, but the thing is that the okay. So cut to a number of years later. 10 years later, let's say, I was working on an indie film called Miracle Mile, which was very cool. Mare Winningham, who just, by the way, let me give kudos to her, just got an Emmy nomination for A Girl in the North Country. I was told they were doing another Star Trek, and it was the first time a TV show would be made first run in syndication. I didn't know what that meant. It sounded low rent, cruddy, and weird. And I thought, oh man. And to be honest, I hid my sides under my pages. I didn't want anyone on Miracle Mile to know that I was, number one, auditioning for a TV show, because TV was low rent.
at that point, it was
TV was
TV actor. Okay.
TV. If you were an actor studying at the level of classes I was studying at, with some of the most, what were going to be our movie stars in my classes, you did not aspire in the 80s to be on TV. You wanted to do theater, and you wanted to do films, and you wanted to do indie films, which I was on the set of at the moment that I got my audition for Star Trek. And I thought, God, this just seems so tacky, man. Are they going to redo
The script seemed tacky.
We had no script. We were never given a script. Now all these shows that I do, you have to sign non-disclosure agreements, NDAs.
I have to sign them on my first date. That's not even a fake story, by the way.
Back to On the Rocks. Yes, sir.
Oh, Lordy. I'm so glad I'm so old and married, and yeah. Anyway,
even
I don't know
not
how
true, by
you
the
kids
way.
do this. Anyway,
Not very well. It's like, okay, I'm not too
my
tired at this
God,
point.
I
booze.
can't
With
imagine.
booze.
Can you imagine me
But
going
for
on a
you-
dating app?
Yes, I can. They'd be like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah,
Ellen.
no.
Ellen would be like, you're just what I need to improve my brand. Ellen's dating Tasha Yar. 100%. Bye, Portia. Here's your
Portia,
goodbye.
I'm gonna take you out, bitch.
But can you imagine?
I'm on the.
That's what Ellen needs.
Come on, Ellen.
She needs a little Denise Crosby.
Oh God.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Well,
Just
oh
saying.
my God, you guys, you're so juicy.
But was there a little excitement knowing that Gene Roddenberry was involved? and
That
it
was the
actually
only.
a track?
That was the only caveat for me. I mean, that was like, okay, well, okay, he's doing this, so, this has some credibility.
He thought it was time.
I didn't think it was. I did not think it was a good idea. Believe me.
No
believe
one-
me.
I mean, no one
just,
did.
Me as a hard fan was like, I
I
didn't want to like it at all.
I had no, I needed to make a living. I needed to get my next gig. It wasn't like I was getting, $1 million on Miracle Mile. It was an indie film.
Didn't Patrick Stewart say that his agent told him, like, dude, take the job, there is no way this show is going to run for more than one
100%.
season.
And he was like,
Come
let's be
here,
Royal Shakespeare
make
Company.
your money,
Engage.
go back.
I mean, I don't know.
What was that again?
I don't
Engage.
That was
I don't.
awful.
I don't know that anybody thought it was going to run another year. I mean, you've got to
That is so
you've
true.
got to frame this. We were sort of the bastard stepchilds. Stepchilds. That's great. Hi, I'm
What
going
is
to take
this
this moment
sponsored
now
by?
to sponsor.
That's
to
another
say,
Tennessee Williams show. We
Hi.
didn't get to. No. Okay.
There is a vodka called NEFT, and it will take
gonna send you the
away
check that they send me.
any
I'll be like,
English grammar
Kara.
or elocution that you've ever known. But it's so much more fun to talk this
And I
way.
swear to God, no
NEFT.
hangover.
Thank you.
I'm gonna text each one
Yeah.
of you motherfuckers tomorrow.
Yeah, and by the way, if Gaaays in Space does not get a sponsorship similar to this, I brought her.
I
everyone.
expect
I
barrels,
brought her.
oil barrels
Yes.
of
All right,
let's
NEFT
get back to
tomorrow.
lunch.
Okay, let's go back.
Shut that.
Okay,
He
so,
did say we needed to be more focused.
yeah, I'm
this time.
getting
a
there.
little.
Don't talk. So
Pretend you're a humpback whale on Star Trek 4. Gracie is pregnant.
How do
Since
you
we're
know?
giving all like the
no
tea,
one knows
all the
that.
secrets I was told not to say.
Gracie does.
If you want to know the address of the wedding, it's at Martha's
Oh,
Vineyard.
shut up!
they're out of control.
Too far.
Okay, so let me.
But wait, but I just
Okay, so
was
let's
there
go
like
back
a
to
little
the audition.
excitement though, knowing like,
No,
oh okay.
no, there wasn't. There really wasn't. I have to be honest.
And
There
let's be
wasn't-
honest, the first few scripts,
Oh.
you know, were
Code of
not
honor.
good. You don't have to speak on it,
Sorry.
but I
Sorry.
can.
Code of
As
dishonor.
Part of the original. I was raised on Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, where like we're here for stakes. First few scripts probably were not
No,
the best.
but there was inkling. There was enough there that constituted interest and desire and passion in me until. Remember back then you did 26 shows a season. This is unheard of. This is two seasons now.
This is where,
per show.
This is where Hollywood beyond Star Trek started to change. Even TV, where you just crank them out.
We were doing these in 7 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nuts. We didn't
And
know.
even Patrick Stewart was resistant for that because he came from the Royal Shakespeare. We're like, we have to talk about our character, and they're like,
rehearse.
Well,
No,
we
that's
did.
ridiculous.
We had no rehearsal, but what we did have, which I noticed when I went subsequently back to the show, had been eliminated. We did have a read through, which I always had on Ray Donovan, on different shows, on
That's how they
on
start everything
Suits,
now.
on Suits. We would get together and have a script read through. So we would have that on Star Trek,
and it wasn't
Gene-
exciting at all to all be like. we're
It was
being through with
exciting. You know what?
Gene there.
No. What was exciting for me was I had never been a regular on a TV show at that point. I was very young.
This is one of the
I had a
questions.
parking spot on Paramount.
But you also were
I mean,
also kept to.
How close
I
was
could
it
go in
to
the-
the sound stage, Denise? How close
it's
was
close.
the
Oh
park?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
girl.
yeah. You're on. Yeah, you're.
But it
You
was
had
a
a
whole different
ride.
thing.
But I had the Crosby Building is on Paramount. Well, there's that.
No, but so that's also another question. Is like, you kind of came to the set with this kind of gravitas, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna make this work. This is non-official, but now that you're a little tipsy, you were brought in.
Hi, I'm going to take this moment.
No, stop. No, but Tasha Yar was supposed to bring in this bravada of a female on set, and of course, if you do your research, you were supposed to be Counselor Troy.
Oh no, I wasn't supposed to be. I had
You were.
original. No. I originally was asked to audition for that role.
Have you like?
There was never.
Why?
But it was a discussion with Gene, though.
Yeah.
right.
Why was that the
Not
role
me.
that they said you should go in for? That you should read
Because
for?
it was written as a very different. It was the description, the physical description of Counselor Troy was more my physical description. She was like an Icelandic ice queen, very, very astute and clean, I don't know, some image of,
here's the thing.
of an Icelandic.
You guys can't spill
and
the tea because you guys
Viking,
love Trek and you whatever.
And Yar was Masha Hernandez.
Yeah.
Originally, I've seen the show.
Not Hernandez.
yeah. No,
Hernandez,
she was-
who made tacos on the bridge.
Woo!
She was more like, on the aliens too. What's her name?
Oh, yes.
Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I know
on
exactly what you're
aliens
saying.
too.
Oh.
So, okay, we're going to get we're going to get into it.
Oh my.
Denise, we're fucking it up.
I
I'm gonna
am-
stop
I
talking.
am not
I'm gonna
fucking it
stop
up.
talking.
I am not fucking this up. Okay.
I've interviewed housewives that have literally peed their pants while they're talking, and I've heard the pee, and I look at them, and they're like, don't say anything. I'm
Well,
like,
because you
"Hello."
didn't give them bathroom breaks.
Oh, I am
Hello.
yeah. The bathroom break. Oh, we can go like I'm a camel. Okay.
Girl,
I
you've
can
met
get-
your match. I'm Latino and a West Hollywood.
And I'm a white Hollywood single bitch.
Oh Lord.
I'm more scared of you.
This
Okay,
is the most fun ever.
But
Okay.
when that shift did, I want to know how much Gene Roddenberry and you collaborated. And I love Trek. I love the legacy. We had Gene Roddenberry's son here, Rod.
Yeah.
you
and he
did?
was Yeah.
Oh, that's
you were
awesome.
here.
Stop talking.
I wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Stop
Oh yeah, I
talking.
promised. This is empty, by the way.
Okay.
Just saying.
I will get you some more. But he was also very honest about the legacy. We think of Star Trek as this glossy product. The Star Trek legacy has been through some clunks and some learning.
Yeah.
What was your relationship with Gene in establishing who Tasha was?
So Gene was so open and so giving and so kind and transparent and just said, what was open to any question I could ask. But he said, "This is you do her now. I'm giving this to you. She is what you create." So there was never any fallback or discrepancy or
Just an ensemble.
restriction or like what the hell were you thinking? I mean, it was so liberating and free and creative. Yeah.
So it must have been frustrating to be given this power, and then you're just like, "Hi, Captain."
Right.
And
right.
then, okay, here I am, and that's your episode. So, devil's advocate, because, I love to play that. We know Nichelle Nichols historically, and you were able to honor her. She was, so bored with doing that, and she was going to give up her role. And then Martin Luther King said, he's looking at you.
Well, that's a very profound.
Right, but looking back at your role, do you really think Tasha was just an order taker?
What my 35 years have shown me, stepping away, what impacts me the most are the young women who are now adults, young girls, young women, who have said they turned on Star Trek and they saw this character and they had never seen anyone look like this and they had never seen anyone act like this, who had the strength and determination and self-awareness, and they went, "I am okay. I am going to be okay. This character gives me permission to know that I can look like this, I can be like this, I can survive this stuff, and I'm going to be I'm going to be okay with this. Now they come to me, whether I'm at a con at my table, and they tell me this. And that is the greatest takeaway for me. That is that if I, God willing, go out tomorrow, I know that if I somehow gave a little girl who was struggling in 1987 when that show came on, and said, I am going to be okay. You showed me some other thing that I didn't see.
Anywhere else.
What
Anywhere
more?
else. It
What?
was you at that time.
And it's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. It's just the configuration of.
But there's something about this character, and so all the questions like, what do you think it was about you as a character, but also you progress the character, you participate. What is it about Tasha Yar that we obsess about?
Well, thank you for saying that, but also.
Hello, I'm here too.
Thank you, darling. It's my job, as any actor's job, is to take the part, and
But let's be honest, an actor plays the part and then they walk away. When you're part of Star Trek, the fans kind of own you, and then you go to the convention and all that.
you
So
don't walk away.
It's a very different experience.
So then that takes on another sort of aspect. That's another layer of all of this. That's why this particular acting job is unlike, let's say, me doing Suits or me doing Ray Donovan, because this.
Which are equally as important.
Oh my God!
Your role in The Waking Dead when you're
The Walking Dead.
Sorry, I'm
You
trying to be
want-
woke.
Was
You
I in
want
The Waking
everything
Dead?
to be
Was
woke.
I in The Waking Dead? Was that?
We all
You guys are after me
jumped on.
after you've heard his. Okay.
I'm going to take this moment.
The Woking Dead. It's the new show that I'm producing with AMC.
The woke dead, starring me as the most woke
I've never been
dead
owned on my
person
own
you've
show.
ever known.
No, but I think that's a beautiful expression.
It is. Can I
Wait,
just?
what were you saying? We went on. What do you say is the most beautiful expression? I want to hear that again. Because
No, the
that's
fact-
such a beautiful thing you just said, and I want to hear it.
You said it, girl.
Well, wait,
Well,
that I.
Well,
Oh.
my question is, today there is a question:
three pages
was
of this.
was
Seven of this.
Tasha a lesbian? Was Tasha bisexual? And
And you know
at
what? That's
this
beautiful.
time,
We don't have to answer that.
Yeah. Who
we
cares?
Don't
but-
have to ever
Gay,
But
straight.
answer
hang
that.
on, hang
you wear
on.
nail
but,
polish. You wear a skirt. Who
but
cares?
my question, which I have never asked you before, is the fact that so many fans simply assumed, because as gay people, we would latch on to any
Right.
breadcrumb
Right.
that would lead to someone.
Understandably, 1987.
So
Do you know how many
We're talking about a
refrigerator
whole different
magnets I
world.
appeared in on
Yeah.
West Hollywood in the stores?
what does
But why was
that
Tasha
mean
that?
to you?
What? I'm sorry. What?
What does that mean to you that before it was even freaking possible to have an iconic role model for a member of the gay community,
How-
even though they never said it.
That was completely like a gift. That wasn't even, I just was playing her authentically as I could figure out the role. But then now in hindsight, as, I deconstruct her, I think it's so cool that she was just fluid. Yeah. She was just more fluid, actually, than anyone fluid alive is now. But
the
that's
language
what's,
was not
that's
there.
what's expected because
So I
she
think that's
was.
why the LGBT community was like, she's our girl.
She was.
Yes.
She was with an android. She was with whatever.
And-
She was with Lieutenant Castillo.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But,
Well, hello.
But
Helen
who-
Keller would be with
But-
Lieutenant Castillo.
Yes. Yes.
Are you calling me blind? Are you
saying even
referring
blind
to
people are like-
Okay, that's like I get it. I get it. But I mean, she was so fluid. That's where I want to keep her. People keep saying, define her. Was she gay? Was she this? Was she that? No. She was Tasha Yar.
And this goes to we're Discovery, which I love Discovery, but it's like, boom, boom, boom. This is what we're doing. It's like,
Right.
let's
That's-
just breathe. Let us
Yeah.
all breathe. Any change is hard for anybody.
That brings us
breathe.
so back to our original moments in this conversation. And I agree. I mean, we're in a period, we were, and
It's
I
a very
understand.
difficult.
I understand, we want to scream and shout and be representative and be all that. And on the, what I'm so glad that in 1987, I got to just,
We're talking about
and
1987.
without even doing anything.
Intending it.
No.
You
It
didn't
wasn't like I
intend
didn't
it.
set out, nor was this a discussion, but it was on the tables. It was, I lived in West Hollywood. My brothers were gay.
Again, I'm gonna need numbers. I don't know.
I mean,
Imagine dating Denise Crosby brothers. I'm like, fine.
oh my God, my two beautiful brothers.
Only if they have aged as well as you, my friend.
Sadly, they're passed
Oh no,
From
that
AIDS.
made my
From
thing
AIDS.
really bad.
from
Sorry.
AIDS.
That
No,
really
no.
turns
Oh,
it back
no,
on
no.
me.
God.
But
No,
but
this
that's an
was
important
the
conversation to
period
have.
of
This is where you come from.
This is
this
what
is the energy of Tasha.
I lived in. So, this was all, this
so
is
sorry.
all part of your making of a life of a character. You are only what you are to bring to a role. I can't manifest anything other than I am.
But let's talk about that as an actor, when you often have to play roles that you're like, oh, okay, but I have to do this. So how do you mesh that with your creative process?
You first of all try and find out what is this person, thought process. What are they doing? You never go, this is a horrible person. Like, let's say you were playing a serial killer. You don't go, oh my God, I'm a serial killer.
And like,
no.
Yeah.
You go, who is this person? Who is his mother? Who is his father? Where did he grow up? What does he eat for breakfast?
What
what's
has
his day?
led to
And you
that?
hopefully that, but all you've got is your own experiences. And people, I remember being in acting class early as a young actor, and people were saying, how do you play Medea, who kills
I've heard this so many times.
who kills her children?
But Medea's
Okay.
one of the sexiest women in.
No, you don't.
But
And you
strongest,
can't
too.
play sexy. You have to be sexy. You
It
have
just
to
happens. Yeah.
So, how do you play Medea, who kills her own children in revenge for her husband's infidelities? Have you killed a fly? Have you ever stomped on a spider? Have you ever sucked up in the vacuum, which I did the other day, which I fucking hated? Some cobwebs, and there might have been a thing? That's how you play it.
Girl, I punch people for being rude.
That was not for you, Alexander.
know.
Clearly.
Where's your acting class, by the way, so I can go?
Well, my great acting teacher is gone now. Who
So
I
you have
spent
to-
10 years with, who all these amazing actors came out of: Michelle Pfeiffer, George Clooney, Bryan Cranston, Kyle.
That dude.
Kyle Chandler. You know, so many amazing, talented actors. I'm just, giving off the A list. But
Well, when was another question I've never asked? When was your meeting with Gene where you said, "Look, I am not being fulfilled as an actor, and I would like to be let out of my contract, which was 6 years at the time." And
Yes.
Which was pretty
no
ballsy, by
one-
the way.
Oh my God, right? No one would think he would say yes to that. Episode wise, when did that happen?
so, somewhere in the middle of the first season, I was starting to get scared and frustrated and worried and disillusioned that I'd made the wrong choice, that this would be what this is. Okay? This is what this is going to look like. Number one, I'm up on this bridge, this horseshoe, spending 15-hour days saying nothing, wearing this. I don't even get to wear clothes, okay? At least on suits, I got fucking amazing clothes.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah,
You,
right.
You were like
Yeah.
Meryl Streep
Oh,
in
I'm in-
Devil Wears Prada.
I'm
like,
honey.
whew.
At least if you get to change your outfit every episode, but I'm in this spacesuit for 6 years. Okay. That's I kid. That wasn't the real reason. It was really the writing. I didn't think, again, I frame it in the 80s. This television was not what you aspired to end up on. It was really not very good. There was Hill Street Blues, which was groundbreaking in terms of writing and multiple storylines. So that's what I thought this would be. I was under the guise that this would be a multi-character storyline. We would have A, B, and C storylines, which was the model of Hill Street Blues.
And if you had 9 series regulars to begin with, you would assume ensemble.
Well, in the true ensemble, I mean, which was most interesting to me, that, okay, great, we have the captain, the bridge, and whatever planet we're going to, but what are the lives of these other characters doing? And I was a little duped by my audition, which was never filmed. My audition was a scene that and Marina and I talk about this all the time, because it was between Troy and Yar. Yar is sent to Marina as a true, a therapist, the ship's therapist. And Yar is having real second thoughts about why I'm on this bridge, that I don't deserve. That Captain Picard is so great, and everybody here on the Enterprise D is so skilled that I don't think I'm deserving of this. and she's having second thoughts, which is typical of a person who would be Tasha Yar that had come from this planet.
Right.
And we see other scenes with Deanna Troi, and they're like, I don't know if I like chocolate or not.
What
I mean,
does
it's
that
so,
make
like,
you feel? How do
this should have
you
been
feel
so
about
deep.
that?
This should have been like
Okay,
delayed.
so this was my audition scene. And it was a great scene because I come to Troy and I say, I'm really struggling here. I don't think I'm capable. And Troy says, are you kidding, Tasha? You're amazing. You are the top of your class. You belong as the chief of security. She said, yeah, but Captain Picard is so amazing, and I don't know if I can be under him. She said, of course you can. What have you been doing to relax? And I said, what
Data.
What do you mean? No,
Data.
no.
Okay.
What do you mean relax? And she said, basically, you need to go, to the
Deck.
the holodeck.
Love you.
The holodeck, and take a chill pill,
Yeah.
basically, and loosen up. And she goes, really? And she said, yeah, you need to relax. You're fine. You're good. You got this, girl.
Yeah.
And that was this great scene, and it's one of the only scenes that was ever written for the first season that involved the two women, and nothing was ever. It was never filmed.
You know
It
what's
sounds like it
so
has- oh, sorry.
is so interesting
So I
about
show
that?
my name's on
You
the
have
necklace.
awesome. You have said you had to die to get the best episode, Yesterday's Enterprise, but that story was told through an episode with your sister,
Yeah.
Hishari Yar,
Yeah.
where we find out the reason you're on the Enterprise is because Picard saw you go through a Canelian, I know that name, minefield to save a wounded colonist. You did not worry
You are a
about
super
your
fan.
own. I told you.
You press this button and
Your
not
own
that one.
safety to get to a wounded colonist. And Picard said, at that point, I knew I needed her on my next command, which is so similar to Tasha asking the question, why am I here? And it answers that.
Yeah, there you go.
Legacy. That's the name of the episode.
They should
Legacy.
have had that. They should have filmed that episode. We talk about it.
It
all the
should have
time.
been you saying it. It should have been.
But here's the
Picard
thing: is
saying
when
it
Next
to
Generation
you.
hit, they were trying to do whatever characters and all that. And I know many different Trek actors will say this off the record. They felt the same way. They just say, "Yes, Captain." Even in the new iterations,
Yeah.
some of our current friends are like,
Yes.
"Oh, I'm just functional," but to the fans, it's not just functional. The fans, you were so important. Everybody on that bridge was so important. I want to know your first time, especially watching Star Trek, doing Howard, you did it, walking onto the set for the first time. Not because you probably saw it being constructed, but knowing that, hey, we're going to film this right now. Can you share with us what that feeling was when you're like, okay, we're going to start filming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm in this tight-fitting new iteration of the uniform, and we have these. I'm on the set of the Enterprise.
And you were about to be beamed for the first time,
Well-
standing on the transporter pad.
Was that my first shot?
Oh
No,
I don't
such
know.
a nerd. No,
you
I'm
would
just-
know that, you nerd.
So then,
Um,
it was.
It was not.
It was not.
It was not. It was all really fresh and new and experimental. We were just trying to figure things out, trying to get to know each other as cast mates. That's
Especially with Patrick Stewart. I
Yeah.
heard he was
He
so
was- oh.
regimented, and he was like,
he
this
was
is.
a twit.
He was a little stiff.
He was.
You can
little
use
stiff.
his like English. He's
Oh,
a twit.
my-
God blesses everyone. He was a twit.
Oh, he was just
What wasn't
he
there?
was-
There was a sign on his trailer saying "Danger Shakespearean actor."
No.
Yes, there was.
Not,
never heard that in my entire life.
Not season
not
one, because
when-
he
oh
didn't
my
have
God, I
a
would've
sense of
barfed.
humor yet.
But
No,
but do you
he
blame
didn't.
him? He came from this whole like English West End Shakespearean. he wanted to make the show Bravitas, you know?
Tell the meeting story,
I
Denise.
get it. I get it. I mean, tell the what?
The meeting story that Patrick called for all of the cast members.
When we did. Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh, God. You know, and not to disparage, I mean, we all came on to this from this varied background. I mean, you've got LeVar Burton, who is like the star of Roots, the seminal.
Was LeVar really you felt that?
Oh my God! I mean, Roots was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
100%. But he was like, oh, I'm the token black guy on the show. And then they made him disabled with.
I was holding my breath in because I knew. I mean, LeVar, Patrick
Amazing
Stewart,
actor.
I didn't know from shit. You know, LeVar, I knew.
love
I
these
grew
kind of stories.
LeVar. I grew up with like going, oh my shit. I mean, Roots was changed television.
You didn't
But
think it was weird to
also-
strap him
was-
in this like
Also,
weird...
also to this day, LeVar is an intellectual presence in a room that makes
should be the new
you
host of
try to be
Jeopardy.
better.
LeVar steps up your game no matter where you are.
Yes.
No matter where you are. Okay? No. There's LeVar and then there's everyone else. Okay? Will Wheaton, however, was the biggest star in my mind.
Well, he was in my
on
mind,
the
but
show.
for different reasons.
Hey now, he was very young.
They should have had
He was
No, after...
okay.
No, I
let's
didn't...
let's talk
now I'm
about
getting in trouble.
the movie he made.
Stand by
Stand
me.
by Me. Stand by Me was the seminal,
Stephen King.
beautiful. Yes.
Oh shit, that's
Okay.
right.
So
yeah.
Stand by Me was just the new generation of these young guys, River Phoenix and
Jerry
O'Donnell and
Like-
what's the other one? The other
Commander Ransom, everybody on Lower Decks.
No,
it was
that
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
Who's been on the show, by the way. That's a fun episode. if you wanna look
Really?
up. He
I
showed up.
mean-
He was full Corey Feldman.
Okay, so you have that. So then you've got, Jonathan comes from, is married to Jeannie Francis, the biggest
From the soap
star,
opera.
the
Yep.
biggest star on soaps ever. So he's got that going on. So you've got all these disparate, I'm coming from indie films, and Patrick's coming from, the British stage, and we
But you
don't.
were also
we don't know.
promised, like,
we
this
don't.
bigger
We've
role.
never seen what he's done. I don't know who Patrick is.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting
I'm
point.
sorry, I have
'Cause
no
before social
idea
media,
who Patrick is.
As the
at
Royal
this
Shakespeare
point.
Company, he had done everything.
The Royal Shakespeare Company means, I get it. I revere it, but I have no idea who these people are.
First day on set. No, that's what I would know. This
Okay.
energy.
So
With all this knowledge.
the
that you
first
shared.
the first day on set is just I don't remember literally the first day on set, but it's the first episode is just us all kind of getting to know each other and getting sort of acquainted with the set, with the props, with the things, with the uniform. We've got this communicator, and I'm going, I remember taking out my phaser, going,
It's a dust
and
buster.
and like people going, yeah, don't make the sound. You don't need to make the sound. I'm going, oh, I made a sound because I'm going, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this thing. It's ridiculous.
Where was Gene in all of this?
He was not present. I mean, he was in the writer's room or trying to figure out, how to make the next episode. I mean, we've got now 26 of these to make. So they're trying to, the writer's room was really the key to all of this. We were okay. We were going to figure it out.
And I was heard he was still like pushed and prodded as like what the network wanted, what they could afford, everything.
Yeah, we were. I'm telling you, I used to have to steal food from the set of Cheers to feed us. We had nothing.
Well, and then you guys had Kelsey Grammer and
Well, yeah. I mean, I would go walk around the Paramount lot to look for food. I mean, we had like tomato slices.
Because your
and
uniforms
cremor.
were so tight.
Well, we would just.
Don't you think it's a little
I would
sexist?
just walk around going, "Hi, I'm on a space show over on stage 9. Hi, I'm walking. Can I get a crab leg and some caviar and
On Paramount? No.
On the set
You're
of
gonna get-
Cheers?" And they would go, "Here, take the food." I'm going, "We're so hungry. I'm so skinny and hungry. Look at me. I look like a boy." And they would just
Denise,
give me
did
food.
you and like Marina ever have the conversation that the uniforms for the guys change with their weight gain, never change for you?
No. We were, in the 80s, you were required
You know, talking about like women
to
in
be
film.
fucking skinny ass. If you didn't cross off the T's, you were out of it. Fortunately, I was luckily very thin
Look
and
at this.
skinny, and
Even
look
pressure.
at this.
Like had to be skinny.
That was our
the guys
that was
could
our
break gain
people.
weight
that was
data.
our-
Or like you're an android.
That
and
was our People magazine.
Yeah, I
they
know.
did- yeah.
That's why we pulled it.
Mm-hmm.
What did you love most about your time with Star Trek? And it could be personal, it could be business, it could be whatever you want. But like, what's your favorite?
With actually being on set and shooting and just
Did you watch the episodes when they came out?
I did the first season, and to be honest, I've never seen another one since.
You saw yesterday's Enterprise.
I saw all
You had to.
anyone that I did.
So you haven't seen Discovery? You haven't seen?
I watched a little bit of Discovery. I went to the set of
That's one of.
Discovery.
So
I
one
went
of
to
our.
visit.
I have to say this. Travis, damn it, Travis! That's his go line. David, he wants to know what you think about the new iterations of Trek.
So, Travis, I'm really not up to speed with the show, except I love the actors. So I know them behind the scenes. So I'm not watching. There's so much to watch, on TV. But I love the gang of Discovery, especially. That's going to be my shout out. I have shared some time with them and worked with them off stage, had some dinners with them. Michelle Yeoh, I am mad for.
She's my spirit.
Yeah, she's a spirit animal.
Talking
She's a
about
good.
taking Hollywood and like, okay, now we're gonna do this.
Yeah, I can't say enough about personally my gang at Discovery. I am mad for. Sonequa, of course, I worked with on Walking Dead, so I have a little bit of background with her. But I've just shared some personal time and space and creative time with them on the Star Trek cruise.
Your fans are really asking, like, what do you watch on a daily basis? Like, what TV are you? Especially with Ray Donovan and Walking Dead. Like, you've been part of some iconic shows. So what are you watching on your day off?
Oh my goodness. So, it's so fluid. I just finished Severance, which I really love.
It's kind of hard to get through because it's so real.
Oh, I love it. I loved it. I'm loving I'm just talking contemporary right now. I'm waiting for a couple things to drop. Of course, Handmaid's Tale. I've gonna, the final season, Handmaid's Tale.
You're in the final season?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Oh my
watching.
God, I wish. No, but so what have I been watching? Under the Banner of Heaven. Have you been watching?
Andrew Garfield, right?
So good, but they only do not
Spidey.
streaming, so it's only every Thursday.
Right.
They're dropping. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Denise, we have like pages of fan questions.
Let's keep going.
No. No, we have to go. But I just want to say that.
Do we?
You,
Hi,
no, wait,
let me
wait,
take
wait.
this moment
No.
to say
Oh my God.
NEFT
No,
Vodka.
we have another
Last
question. But I
time.
want to say is that you are very interactive with your fans. And coming to the conventions, I must admit, must be hard as an actor be like, I'm going to do the conventions, because in the past, conventions were like, sign, blah, blah, blah. But conventions are now the cool kids club. It has totally evolved. Even Star Trek has become cool. Why do you think Star Trek is now cool?
Oh my goodness. So I was on the cusp of watching this all change. Really, it started to change in the 80s.
Well, and Trekkies.
Well, thank you.
Completely
yes,
helped.
I have a
Trekkies.
few minor quibbles.
Absolutely.
Remember that guy? I still want to know where he is because I have such a crush.
Wait,
Which
Gabe?
one?
Gabe?
The one who says, I have a few minor quibbles with my outfit.
Oh, no. I'm not going to let you.
You don't let me.
No. Anyway, I gotcha.
Which once again shows how you care about the fans
Let me just
and how you respect them.
Let me just tell you, man. What propelled me to make Trekkies was a disconnect that I saw, that a perception wasn't fully realized about the joy and love of what was coming into its glory of comic book and sci-fi culture and fandom. There was a disconnect in the media portrayal. I was really tired of watching the 11 o'clock news and the broadcasters saying things like, hey, this weekend there is a Star Trek convention in town, so put on your Spock ears and come on down and, see your favorite actors. Okay, great. That's that. But there is so much more. There is so much other going on, like beyond. So let me take a deep dive into letting the fans speak for themselves. Who are you guys and why are you here? So that was my impulse to do this. We had no money. We had no idea what we were doing.
That's what I get is like Star Trek community has no money. You're talking about how much work you do for Gaaays in Space. It's
I got no money. We got no money. Yeah. Well, unless you are a series regular on Star Trek, you don't get compensated the way that
Star Trek,
one would think.
Star Trek has changed now. It's like network. Do you look at the new track and be like,
Do I look at the...
Not that you're watching it, but like, that's what
as
the
far
actors
as like,
no.
wow, they are shown so much more
cool
respect.
Well, it's different.
probably worded that wrong.
Everything. 25. It's been 25 years since I made Trekkies.
Yeah.
This, I caught the wave when things were changing, when things were just becoming, out. You could wave your freak flag,
Yes.
and not get eviscerated for it.
Well, can you tell the story about, and I forget her name, the juror who showed up in full Starfleet uniform and refused to equivocate on the fact that, listen, I have the Roddenberry philosophy and I am taking this very seriously. Like, it's something that the unintelligent, the ignorant could look at and be like, oh, you're so silly. But it's like, no, she is embracing the most important part of the message of Star Trek.
Well, she kind of exemplifies, the walk the talk in a way, and we don't have to, we don't have to do that. We're not, nobody's suggesting that you have to do that or to kind of quantify your respect for science fiction and science and space. But Barbara McAdams, she was on the jury of the Whitewater trial in Arkansas, and she decided that she was chosen as a jury member, and she decided she would wear her Starfleet uniform as a representative of the principles of Gene Roddenberry and Star Trek. And she was, singled out and photographed and filmed, and but she understood what she was doing. She had no, she said, look, people wear their football jerseys or their baseball jerseys. And I know this. I mean, I've done this. I've worn a baseball jersey to my son's, baseball game at USC. I've ordered USC Nike, that year tennis shoes. I get this, man. We lay down, we put down with what we love and believe in. And so this is so beautiful that this was personified.
Denise, I have two more questions. Would you have done your Star Trek relationship differently? In terms of maybe not leaving, but doing something else.
No. I think my God, my relationship with Star Trek is so rich and perfect and unusual.
And you were the first one to bring back to the online game, by the way. Leonard Nimoy did it, and then you did it. And then everybody else was like, okay, I guess we'll do it.
Yes. And that was my intention. I really wanted to show that these guys know what they're doing and they're okay. Yeah.
All right, so quick responses from the fans. I just want like a couple of words for each of these.
Okay.
These are projects you've done and filmed.
Okay.
So give it. Baywatch.
Oh, at least I didn't wear a red bathing suit.
The Magicians.
Oh my God. One of my favorite costumes. And
Those
again,
sunglasses.
John McNamara, got to work with him again.
Mad Men.
Oh, great part.
3 episodes.
Great part.
X-Files.
Well, that should have been more. That was promised more. They were fighting, those two. They had to end the series. So
that's deep. Deep Impact.
My God, what a beauty to be involved in. Look at that cast. Mimi Leader, gracious director. You didn't ask me about others.
Denise, what's your message to Star Trek fans and LGBTQ?
Oh my God, I love you, first of all. My heart embraces and wraps around you forever. But most importantly, let's continue to be there for each other and be real and be truthful and help each other along the way. I'm here for you. You're here for me. And so I love you all.
Beautiful. Dan, where can people find and follow you?
Before that, you know what we haven't talked about? The fact that Gaaays in Space is sending Denise Crosby
Oh, we didn't talk about this.
into almost space. Denise, take it away.
Oh my God. Let's talk about Space Prize. Okay, guys, listen to this.
Why am I not there?
First of all, most importantly, not about me, but about 5 beautiful girls from 5 boroughs in New York who have worked their butts off to take a seat on a 0G gravity flight because of their passion and interest in science. I am only a caretaker of, the mythology, but I am also here to support my girls, and I got your back. And you know what? I'm going to ride this bitch with you on May 28th. We are going up. We are flying high. We are releasing our belts, and we are going to float. And we are going to float together like women who are interested in the future and getting it together and being great. And I am so unbelievably excited to support you and meet you and hug you and be with you on this journey. This is like, oh my God, here I am. Let's go. Let's do this. And you know what? I just want to take this moment
Oh my
to say,
God, you guys.
No, I'm just going to say On the Rocks.
No, it's the best show ever.
Let me just say,
Denise, thank you, though, because...
This is the official announcement, by the way, that this is happening. This is the official announcement. I got absolute confirmation like 4 or 5 hours ago that this is happening.
We're running out of... Brock, do it. Come on.
Do it?
Tell. Yeah.
Okay. So
now,
Gaaays in Space is about to announce something absolutely incredible that will change how people perceive Gaaays in Space. And part of that is one of our new partners is an organization called Spaaace. He wants me to go faster. Spaaace gives the opportunity to inner city high school girls to embrace what it means to be in STEM education, to let them know you can be anything you want to be. So part of what they do is they have given 5 of these high school girls seats on the next 0G flight on May 28th. And if you don't know what that is, they go up and they do 15 minimum different maneuvers. And before each one, they tell everyone, you want to know what it feels like to be on the moon? Here it is. Do you want to know what it feels like to be on Mars? Here it is. And they fly, and it's amazing. And my relationship with them, I just had to say, you know what? I kind of know some Star Trek people, and I really know who would absolutely relish this experience. And obviously, it's my pal, Denise. And so she now has a seat on that same flight and will experience these things with
100% true. Then we're going to cover
100%
it. Then
true.
we're going to cover
Yeah.
it. I'm going to be on the...
Do it.
Yeah.
You got to be there.
You'll be there.
On the rocks.
Yeah.
And that,
You
I will
might-
take a moment to...
All right, we'll set this up.
You might need a little of this before you get on the
Oh
flight.
my God, I don't know. I mean, that...
This is On the Rocks. Coming up, we also have Pepper Mache, who is one of the biggest top pop performers. We also have Isa Briones from Picard is coming on.
Issa.
Isa.
That's why I'm such a... Whatever. We'll see you next week on
You
On the
need
Rocks.
me.
We love you.
Woo! We love NEFT. We love NEFT. We love NEFT. We love...
On Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks On Air. Find everything On The Rocks for free at OnTheRocksRadioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.